Oh, we are day two in Tampa at TPUSA's SAS. And man, I got to tell you, day one was amazing. And it wasn't necessarily because of what happened here. It's because of what's going on in DC. But there's no place you'd rather be when there's breaking news than at a TPUSA. Oh, we are day two in Tampa. Hang on, let me pull myself down because I can hear myself. What am I watching? I'm watching myself on Rumble or something. This is Mark Kaye Saves the Republic, and I am so excited that I know it's a Saturday edition. I know you're not used to seeing me on Saturday, but that's okay. I'm not used to being surrounded by so many amazing conservative voices on a Saturday. I'm not used to being at one of the most important political events of the year, and there's been so much going on. Yesterday, in between all of the interviews, in between all the sessions and the great speakers, news broke. Probably yesterday afternoon on X that Dan Bongino had skipped a day of work because of the kerfuffle, if you will, over the Epstein files. And Dan Bongino, if you know him, if you've ever met him, if you've seen him, Dan Bongino doesn't skip work. Dan Bongino works. Literally nothing can stop Dan Bongino from going to work except cancer, although I know he wanted to go. But Dan Bongino doesn't just stay home unless there's a real issue, and the issue is the handling of the Epstein files, the release of the memo last Sunday night by Pam Bondi and the DOJ, the memo that was unsigned, the memo that tried to sweep everything under the rug, the memo that most of Donald Trump's supporters and pretty much all of MAGA said, wait a minute, there's no way, Jose, or no way, Bondi, as I guess you would say if it's Pam Bondi. But that has been the ongoing story throughout the week, and it continues to be a story here today as well at TPUSA. We have some great interviews. We've had some people coming by. I mean, it is just, you've got the biggest names in the conservative movement. You've got a lot of other folks who have great causes, and you know, everyone comes by and they're like, hey, do you have time for an interview? Do you have time for an interview? And I feel bad because if I'm not recording with somebody, I'm editing something else, or somebody else is asking to interview me. And what we've seen a lot of folks who are trying to get attention. So I'm thinking I might do like an open mic night. That was my goal. I was like, how do maybe I could do like an open mic night later on, maybe like open mic afternoon. We'll get there maybe like 3:00 or so. We have some, we have some amazing guests coming. We have some amazing things that we're going to be handling, and it's really going to be amazing. So when we get later on in the program, as there are people who are walking by, as there are people who are coming by, we're going to do whatever we can to accommodate as many people as possible. But in the meantime, like I said yesterday, the big story broke. It was Dan Bongino. I was talking to Kevin Smith, by the way, our good buddy from The Loud Majority. And we did a full-scale interview, which we'll put up on the internet later on. But this guy, Kevin Smith, and I were sitting there chatting, and I said, by the way, breaking news right now. Did you hear? Wait a minute, where'd my clip go? That's where I had the clip of Kevin Smith. I don't know what happened to it, but yeah. Oh, that's great. Anyway, this is kind of what's been going on all day today. Let me go here to the download folder because I want you to hear this. This was funny. This was us finding out live what happened with Pam Bondi and Dan Bongino. Here we go. Listen. Well, that's the whole thing. Hang on. Well, I'll get it here in just a minute. But we were going back and forth, and we were like, look, here's what's going on. Here's what's happening. Here's what we don't understand. And we were taking bets. We were like, who's going to stick around? Is it, given the choice, is it going to be Pam Bondi or is it going to be Dan Bongino? Given the choice, who is going to win out, if you will? From CNN. No, that's not it either. All right, I don't know what's going on. We'll get it here in just a minute. Like I said, we're shorthanded today. And we've got a lot of stuff going on, but we have coming up in just a minute. We have Scott Jennings from CNN. What is going on with my camera? Hang on, let me pull this back. All right, we'll reset. We'll get to Kevin Smith in just a minute, but first, the crowd here at TPUSA has been really, and it is kind of a cross section of what's going on in the United States of America. If you've never been to one of these events, if you're unfamiliar with one of these events are are one of a kind. And the young people that come here, and it's not just young people anymore, they know exactly what's going on. They're informed. They know what it is that they like. They know what it is that's important to them. And the Epstein files and rooting out corruption and making sure that everything in the government, everything we voted for, is being adopted by the administration, keeping people accountable, even President Donald Trump and his administration. That is something that is important to them. That is something that they voted for, and that's something that they're going to make sure happens. And so this Epstein stuff is a big deal, and it's not just gonna go away. So Megyn Kelly, who has been doing a fantastic job. She has her own show. She's got her podcast. We were joking about it yesterday, how she has kind of evolved. She was on Fox News, and she sort of got to be herself, and Donald Trump made some comments about her, and that skyrocketed her into superstardom. Then she left to go work on NBC, where she had to become anybody but who she authentically was. And finally, she said, screw it, I'm going to go do my own thing, and now she's killing it. But she walked out on stage last night, right after this Bongino stuff broke, and she and Charlie Kirk just lit the place on fire. Just said, she just like, look, everybody out here, if this is important to you, let us know.
Make some noise if you care about the Jeffrey Epstein scandal.
Yeah, now that's 7,000 people. That's 7,000 people, and it's a huge room, chairs everywhere. It's 7,000 people, and they all care about the Jeffrey Epstein scandal. Charlie Kirk said, raise your hand. Everybody got up out of their chairs, had both hands in the air.
Make some noise if you care about the Jeffrey Epstein scandal.
This is not an issue that is going away. This is not an issue that President Donald Trump can get rid of just by offhandedly trying to put in place a reporter who asked about Jeffrey Epstein and who asked Pam Bondi, hey, did you know he was a foreign asset? Hey, have you investigated whether or not he was working for a foreign government? Hey, there's a lot of stories circling around there about Jeffrey Epstein. Have you done your due diligence? The answer, of course, is probably not. Or the answer is she did her due diligence, didn't like what she found out, so now she's trying to get rid of it. But Megyn Kelly came up with some amazing points and some amazing, it was an amazing conversation between the two moments after it happened.
Jeffrey Epstein's not the most important thing on his agenda by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, he's crushing it on the tariffs, foreign policy, just got nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize. If not Trump, then who? Honestly. Barack Obama got the Nobel Peace Prize after 9 months in office. He had done nothing. He gave a nice speech about Muslims and they gave it to him. So President Trump should be getting the Nobel Peace Prize, and there's all sorts of things he's focused on. I just don't think this has captured his attention quite yet. But it needs to, because it's starting to create a real hornet's nest within the administration. And I've got to be honest, I blame Pam Bondi.
Everybody else does too, including apparently Dan Bongino, or at least that's the rumor. That's what's going on the internet. And when you think about it, it's a real interesting team of people that came in there. You've got Pam Bondi, who's the Attorney General in charge of the Department of Justice. The FBI is a subset of the Department of Justice. The FBI sits underneath the DOJ, and Pam Bondi is in charge of that organization. You've got the director of the FBI, Kash Patel. And then, of course, you've got the deputy director of the FBI, one Dan Bongino. And when it comes down to it, when you think about it, Dan Bongino, of the three, probably A, the most well-known, B, the most well-liked, and C, I would say, the most effective of any of the three of them when it comes to law enforcement. I mean, the guy worked in Obama's Secret Service. The guy knows what corruption's like from the inside, and the guy knows what it's like to be loyal to somebody. Think about it, and loyalty is important. Because when you think about Dan Bongino, this is a guy who swore an oath to protect the president of the United States, a president that he disagreed with to his core. Dan Bongino and Barack Obama they had absolutely nothing in common, but Dan Bongino repeatedly put his life on the line to protect him and his family. And that is something that is noble, and that shows loyalty. Pam Bondi and Kash Patel, they're new to the administration. They're new to federal agency work. But at the end of the day, if it were a choice between Dan Bongino and Pam Bondi, I think most people in America would choose Dan Bongino. At least most people on X would, and that's exactly what happened. And that's why they were having this conversation. And that's why it's so important, because no matter what Pam Bondi tries to tell people, no matter what Donald Trump tries to say about it, the voters, the conservatives, the folks here at TPUSA, the Republicans around the country, this is a big issue.
I have nothing against Pam Bondi as a human being. I was fine with her nomination and her confirmation, and she's been loyal to the president. And I get that President Trump needs a loyal attorney general. Look what happened with Sessions. The first time he went away, and then the next thing you know, we had the Mueller investigation, and it was a nightmare. But there are a lot of other people who can be loyal and competent in that job. Here, she is the reason that things are unraveling around this story right now that virtually all of the Republican Party cares deeply about.
Virtually all, I would say a loud majority of the Republican Party cares a lot about what's going on with the Pam Bondi issue, what's going on with the Epstein files, and we're not happy that we're not getting the truth about them. And that is evident. But it appears that there is change coming up. And the interesting thing about Pam Bondi and the interesting thing about Megyn Kelly, because Megyn Kelly, she said, she compared Pam Bondi to somebody that we all, I don't know if you remember or not, but it was Brian Williams from NBC News who became this bigwig, who became this big, political reporter and really got a big, the guy was tall anyway, but he had a big head, started to love the limelight. And if you think about it, in this administration, there are people that you should see every now and then. There are people that you should see on the odd occasion, and there are people you should probably never see or hear from. Dan Bongino was on TV or the internet or podcasting every single day for years. Yet when he went to the FBI, you didn't see him. He made maybe one or two appearances. Kash Patel was always on podcasts. He was always being interviewed. He wrote books. He had his own, line of supplement. He did his own thing. He was kind of an alternative media star. And then he went to go do the FBI. Every now and then he gave an interview, but you didn't see him. He was working. He put on his suit. He went into the building and he started arresting bad guys. Pam Bondi goes to be Attorney General of the United States of America in charge of the DOJ. All of a sudden, every time you turn on the TV, there she is. Every time you turn on the TV, there's Pam Bondi, or Pam Blondie, as some people like to call her, and she's in front of the camera. She's in front of the White House. She's talking about this, that, or the other. She's teasing that she has the Epstein file. She's on with Jesse Waters, and it seemed like she became a staple of nightly news television.
Pam Bondi. She has never missed an opportunity to go on television and dangle sweet nothings that might be coming your way. Try to lead you to believe that she's got it. It's on her desk. It's coming tomorrow. You're going to see something on Epstein. And it was a tease. So you either believe that Pam Bondi was telling the truth then or that she's telling the truth now. But both cannot be true. She was either lying when she went on Fox News all those times saying, I've got it, we're looking at it, wait until you see it, it's horrible. Or she's lying in her 2-page memo that they released on a Sunday night at the tail end of a holiday weekend to Axios, as if Axios is where we all go for our news. Hell no. She went to someone she knew would not kick the tires on the story, and without signing the memo, dropped it in the dead of night and said, that's it, take the crumbs and be happy. Refused to come out and give a presser, and give a press conference, stand there for 6 hours to the point where people are dying of boredom. They've asked all their questions. That's how you put a scandal to rest. But she wouldn't even sign her name to it. And I'm telling you, I have dollars to donuts. It's going to come out that there was internal consternation over that memo.
I think we all know there was internal consternation over the memo, because that's when stuff really started to go downhill, and that's something that we shouldn't ignore. She brings up valid points about that. Donald Trump's administration, and Donald Trump specifically, and everybody at the White House, they know how to release news stories. Donald Trump knows when he has something he wants to say, when he knows when there's something important to do. He knows how to get all eyeballs on what he wants the messaging to be. We talk about it all the time. This is a guy that had everybody in the world watching him, shovel fries at McDonald's. This is a guy who had everybody watching him driving around in a garbage truck in Wisconsin. This is a guy that can get the media anywhere, anytime. And if he can't, he picks up the phone and he calls them. Donald Trump has called Fox News and said, put me on live. He's called CNN and gotten on live. He's done town hall meetings with pretty much everybody. This is not a guy who hides from the media, and this is a guy who knows exactly how to get the kind of press that he desires. Everybody in his administration does. And on the flip side, they think that they know how to keep the media from getting to a story, but that's almost nearly impossible. And releasing it on a Sunday night of a long holiday weekend to Axios with an unsigned memo is not the way to do it, and definitely is going to cause more questions than answers. The problem with that, of course, is because, Pam Bondi, she never She never answered any of the questions. She never gave us the truth. And we have all those video clips, which I won't go back and play over and over again, where she's telling us one thing one day and she's telling us something totally different the next. She's telling us one thing one day and then the next day, oh, wait a minute. We don't actually have any new information to release. So that's been the big story. And all morning, this morning, I walked down to Real America's Voice, rather, and Jack Posobiec was there. They were doing War Room again, and they had Steve Bannon, Natalie Winters, and all three of them. The first thing they said was, "So, what'd you guys think about Megyn Kelly last night?" And there was this uproarious applause because everybody here cares about the Jeffrey Epstein files.
Make some noise if you care about the Jeffrey Epstein scandal.
And like I said, that doesn't even do it justice. I mean, it was 7,000 people screaming at the top of their lungs. And again, a lot of people say, I don't care about him. He's dead. Why are we still talking about him? Jeffrey Epstein is the symbolic figure here. First of all, there's been no justice for the victims, and it doesn't appear that there will be any justice for the victims unless, of course, we keep this story going. Second of all, there's been no retribution or any kind of responsibility taken by the guilty parties. And it doesn't appear that there will be unless, of course, we keep talking about this issue and shedding light on it. And then, of course, the third most important thing is that this thing will happen again in the future if these people, all of them, are allowed to get away with it right now. We've seen that happen in the past. We've seen it happen in the present. We don't want it happening anymore. It's part of rooting out the deep state, and it's part of changing the American governmental system for good, so that we have good people doing good things and not taking advantage of the system. And that's why Pam Bondi, a lot of people think, is on the chopping block. Now, here's the inside scoop. This is really exciting. So, if Pam Bondi is going to lose her job, if Pam Bondi is going back to the unemployment line, if she's on LinkedIn right now updating her resume, trying to find out or is there a state that needs an attorney general? We don't need one here in Florida anymore. Her job's already been given to somebody else. But the fact of the matter is, who becomes the next attorney general? And yesterday, there were two high-profile cancellations. The first was Matt Gaetz. Matt Gaetz was supposed to be here. And we were talking to our buddy, Sean War-Rhino Crutcher. And he said, Matt's going to be here later, and he's going to be on stage. He was supposed to give a big presentation. Matt Gaetz is a huge TPUSA fan favorite. Every time he gives a speech at TPUSA, it makes headlines. Every time he talks to the kids at TPUSA, they just love it, and he makes such an impact. So, of course, he's not going to take any opportunity to miss a TPUSA event, but he wasn't here. He canceled last minute. And everyone thought, Pam Bondi's on the way out. Matt Gaetz is canceling his appearance. That's it. Matt Gaetz is going to be the next attorney general. I wouldn't hold my breath because, well, we already know that he has some trouble with the Senate Confirmation Committee. And we know he has trouble with a lot of folks at the House of Representatives. And we know John Rutherford, the congressman from the 5th District of Florida who sits on the Ethics Committee, hates Matt Gaetz, has a personal vendetta against Matt Gaetz, and will abuse his power till his dying day to stop Matt Gaetz from ever getting back into any kind of government office. So Matt Gaetz is not the pick for attorney general. But then I got a text message from Harmeet Dillon. Harmeet Dillon is the deputy attorney general in charge of civil rights, and she was scheduled to be here at TPUSA, and I had a meeting to any kind of government office. So Matt Gaetz is not the pick for attorney general. But then I got a text message from Harmeet Dillon. Harmeet Dillon is the deputy attorney general in charge of civil rights, and she was scheduled with her. We're going to interview actually right about this time, but I got a text message from her saying schedule, and that was it. And she's not here either. So Matt Gaetz and Harmeet Dillon both canceled their appearances, both canceled their interviews, and they are PNG at TPUSA's SA looking for a new attorney. That Pam Bondi is on her way out. Now, Charlie Kirk brought up a really great point on stage yesterday. He said Matt Gaetz isn't going to be the attorney general. We can all, as much as we want, it would be shocking if that happened. Surprisingly, like one of those shocks, one of those like or something, or Kamala Harris. Anyway, all those things, if you look at it, there's a role somewhere for Matt Gaetz, probably more like a special prosecutor. He's not going to be he's not going to be the next attorney general, but there are roles in the government where he could be effective, and we're going to cross our fingers and see what those are. Now, I'm very excited because Scott Jennings from CNN, who I've been waiting to meet. This guy's amazing. He came by the booth earlier today. Unfortunately, we had a little bit of a problem with his microphone. But thanks to artificial intelligence, thanks to AI, I was able to manipulate, alter, and recreate the audio for his interview. So I'm going to play it with you because this guy's amazing. He's one of the best broadcasters on TV. He's one of the strongest conservative voices we have. He may actually be running for Senate, and I didn't want you to miss it. So here is our AI-enhanced interview with Scott Jennings live from TPUSA. Guys, look, it's Scott Jennings from CNN. He's early, this is great. This is a well put together person who can fly in from New York City on a Saturday, get through Tampa traffic to the convention center and be 20 minutes early. How did you do that?
My mantra is, if you're on time, you're 10 minutes late. Yeah. I like to show up places early and be prepared to deliver, which is why I'm in Tampa today to talk to the folks.
Well, we are so thrilled. Yeah, you're going to be on stage at TPUSA, and you're talking about your brand new book, which is all about Trump 2.0. It's a revolution of common sense. When does this come out?
So the publication date is November the 18th.
Right.
It's available for pre-order right now.
Okay.
Go on Amazon or wherever you buy your books and type in A Revolution of Common Sense and Scott Jennings. It should pop up. It's got Donald Trump on the cover, and
that should sell some copies.
Well, interestingly, he picked this photo.
Oh, good. That's great.
How should I go about choosing the cover art for this book? I know, I'll just ask. But it ends.
That one.
And the book is really about how he stormed back into Washington, wasted no time. And I think everything he's doing is more than just sort of mundane policy. I think he is fighting for the future of Western civilization.
Yeah.
That's what the book is about. I interviewed lots of members of the cabinet and senior people in the administration. So they got some topics that I thought were important in the first few months, and it's a good book.
I'm excited for it. I love the Donald Trump books almost as much as I love the Joe Biden books that have all been coming out fast and furiously. Those are my beach reads, and it was the best beach vacation to see the downfall of Joe Biden.
All retold now. At the time, it was, he's riding unicycles and settling knives, trigonometry. Now it can all be told.
Well, because Jake Tapper realized there's no more market for being for Joe Biden. He's got to be against him. Let's talk a little bit about CNN, because you are, I know Anderson Cooper's the face of CNN, but you really have become the new face of CNN in my book. I just have a question. From the time you walk in the building till you sit down in your chair, how many dirty looks do you get on a daily basis as you're walking through the door?
Not too many.
Yeah?
We have a good community there. And I did to say, and I give a lot of credit to CNN, it was about a year ago. It was between the conventions last summer that we decided to take a 10 o'clock show, we turn it into a debating show.
Sure.
And it's the only show like it on TV.
Yeah.
And I think it's the premier place for conservatives to go and have an honest to goodness debate and get a chance to fight for what we're doing. A lot of cable is just people agreeing with each other.
Right.
We're fighting it out. It's my natural sort of happy place.
I mean,
I think CNN deserves a lot of credit for doing it.
You seem really happy, and you're really good at it. To me, it's almost, and I don't want to insult you, it's almost to be kind of what The View was supposed to be, maybe, way back when Barbara Walters.
They deserve a lot of credit for doing it.
You seem really happy, and you're really good at it. To me, it's almost, and I don't want to insult you, it's almost to be kind of what The View was supposed to be, maybe, way back when Barbara Walters started it.
I think that maybe in the beginning, there was some thought they would have actual debates. Of course, there's more. Everywhere I go, but I love the debates. There's a hunger for debates. People want debates. It's a country founded on debates.
How? I mean, and you have great, you always come with knowledge and common sense, which makes sense that you wrote a book about it. But the one thing I've noticed is there are several times where it was just the representative from New York the other day, Torres, they're just lying. And it's very difficult to debate with somebody who just either A, doesn't know, or B, doesn't care, or doesn't think that you know they're lying. It's just got to be like knocking your head against the wall going, that's just not true.
I can tolerate another point of view. Yeah. I really enjoyed that kind of back and forth. But in that particular case, and deny the existence of a letter that they had sent to the Congress saying, here are the facts about the big, beautiful bill and what the stats are about Medicaid. There are 1.4 million illegals on Medicaid. There are 4.8 million able-bodied people. These are the numbers from the CBO, and he looked right into the camera. that's a figment of her imagination. I said, no, it's a figment of the CBO. Like, what? So to me, when they get trapped like that, you do one of two things. Acknowledge and say, okay, but here's an argument.
Right.
Or you can lie. And you can always tell the people with the weakest arguments because they default to lying.
They always default to lying. How often does Abby Phillips have to cut the commercial because of the screaming and yelling?
Oh, not very often. Well, usually we get a little unruly, a little off the rails. But Abby, she keeps it under control most of the time. Although I have to say that some of the debates lately have been very heated. I mean, these topics have generated a lot of tension on the set and a lot of back and forth, strongly held positions.
All right, now breaking news yesterday. I was right here interviewing, I don't even forget who it was, when the tweet came down about Dan Bongino taking the day off of work, demanding that Pam Bondi be released. Yesterday on stage, Charlie Kirk was with Megyn Kelly. They put it all out there. What's your take on this? Pam Bondi, is she gone? Is she going to be replaced with Harmeet Dillon, who was actually supposed to be here and canceled? What do you know coming into the meeting today?
So I've been looking at this from an operational perspective of someone who was a presidential advisor at one time and worked on personnel matters. It would be pretty disruptive for the president to have to go through the process again of confirming another member of the cabinet, another FBI director, or what have you. And so, look, I don't know what's going to happen. Whatever the White House decides they want to do, the people who work at DOJ should follow that course.
Yeah.
They should follow the president's lead on this. And when he makes a decision, they should salute and do it. I think Bongino was an amazing choice for that job. I don't want him to go.
No, I don't think anybody does.
I love the whole team. I think one of the hallmarks of Trump 2.0 is he picked the best team.
Right.
The team matches him. And so when you have personnel disruption, it can disrupt your priorities. Division takes away from focus on the successes. Those are the things I'm most worried about in this. I do think people are right to be worried about transparency on this issue and what do we not know. But at some level, I've been mostly focused on and worried about what's the interruption to the president and to his administration if this becomes a distraction or we got to go through another set of confirmations, which, honestly, would eat up time.
Yeah, what's not going to get done in the second administration?
We have a finite amount of time. Yeah. The reason he has so many balls in the air, domestically, internationally, you have a finite amount of time, and he's doing a lot right now, and everything it is something to do Congress, so moving in the right, takes like to see.
I always say, and he knows the clock is ticking, not even to 2028, but to 2026. If the House loses or if the House falls, that's the biggest disruption. And you're right, he doesn't need little things.
If we lose the House, they will impeach him immediately.
They want.
They will impeach him immediately, and they cannot help themselves. Right. And so we're going to have to live through all of that. I feel pretty good about the Senate, actually. But the House is close. And so you got to assume, and plan for the worst, hope for the best, and fight for the best. But if we don't keep the Congress, his administration, his agenda, things he wants to do, it's going to grind to a halt.
You brought up the Senate. So, being from Kentucky, there's a vacancy. President Donald Trump has expressed interest in you filling that. Are you willing to give up superstardom and being the face of CNN to represent the people of Kentucky?
Yeah, I've not made any comments about this because here's what I believe. Yeah. Number one, politics is a team sport. Number two, Donald Trump's our head coach. Number three, my assumption is eventually he'll call a play. And my advice to anybody in this race would be when he does it, you should follow the president's lead. I wouldn't want to run against him.
Right.
In Kentucky, certainly. We have to keep this seat red. I still think there's a non-zero chance that Andy Beshear, the governor, could run as a Democrat, and he would be formidable.
Yeah.
He's one racer.
I know.
And so you don't want to take a red state, an easy state like Kentucky, and put it on the board. So I'm waiting to see how this plays out. I will say all three people that are in the race now, I know them. I like them. I've helped them all in their previous efforts and parts of their careers. And so I'm pretty confident Kentucky will have a Republican senator when all is said and done. But my eyes are really just on President Trump here. And eventually he's going to decide what he wants to do.
Kentucky's such an interesting... First of all, Kentucky's a beautiful state. And it's not just because they have bourbon on every corner. But it's a beautiful state. But it's such an interesting political state because you have Mitch McConnell, you have Thomas Massey, you've got James Comer, and then you've got, Andy Beshear, who's a Democrat, but a very popular one. It's really kind of hard to pinpoint the political atmosphere in that kind of state. Why is that?
Yeah, Kentuckians have interesting voting patterns. Obviously, Rand Paul and Thomas Massey are both different than Mitch McConnell.
Yeah.
This Andy Beshear anomaly, look, his dad was governor, right? Okay, it's not been that long that Kentucky became a Republican state. Some little purple tendencies. But the thing that saves Andy Beshear from himself, and make no mistake, he's a nasty partisan liberal. But he is.
Yeah.
And he tries to portray himself as not.
As not, yeah.
But we have Republican supermajorities in the legislature there.
Yeah.
And they have all the power. So all of his impulses and all of his instincts are constantly checked by the Republican supermajority in the legislature. They override every veto. He effectively has no power. And so he has to run around and take credit for everything they've done. I'll give you an example. The day GE plant in Kentucky. They announced they're bringing 800 jobs, reshoring the dynamics and people from knowing how liberal and how partisan he really is.
Yeah.
But that won't last long. You get into a Democratic primary, the true colors will come out. He is one of the most liberal governors in America.
All right, you talked about Donald Trump calling a play. You talked about everybody running the play that the coach calls. Donald Trump has called for Thomas Massie to be gone. He's put everything behind it. He said he will support anybody who's going to primary Thomas Massie. That's the play. Is that the play that everyone's going to run, or the voters going to run that one in Kentucky?
I'll give you some political analysis. Massie has faced primaries before. He's won. Then President Trump was upset with him at one point back in the first term. He did not have a strong opponent in that primary. So I think a lot of this is dependent upon, can they get a strong opponent, and that'll determine whether it's a competitive race. It appears to me that the president and the president's top guys, a lot of this is dependent upon, can they get a strong opponent, and that'll determine whether it's a competitive race. It appears to me that the president and the president's top guys, political operatives, this is a top priority for them, right? This is at the top of the list. And so
That's definitely one of, I'm running for Congress here in Florida. That's going to be the race. A couple of others as well. Listen, the book is called A Revolution of Common Sense, which is very exciting. By the way, before I let you go, do you have a favorite bourbon, or is that like picking a favorite child? Can you do that as
in Kentucky? It's hard to like sort it all out, right? Because there's so many great brands, but Woodford Reserve is an amazing brand,
of course, yeah,
and I will sometimes default to that. Would present it with choice overload, yeah.
But you get into Kentucky,
And it comes out of the faucet, right? Those.
I know, we took, Rand Paul said, you should do the bourbon tour.
Yeah.
So we did that, and man, I'm still recovering, but it was fantastic. Scott Jennings, you can see him on CNN. You can get his book in November. He's going to be on stage here in just a minute. Thanks so much.
Hey, thanks for having me in.
Oh, this was a blast, and I can't wait to see what plays Donald Trump calls. Maybe we'll see you in Washington, D.C.
Yeah, hopefully we'll have the microphones working by then. But Scott Jennings, incredible. And that's one of the guys, really, truly, when you think about it, he says some really interesting things. And one of the things I think he said there, which we should all remember whenever we're dealing with any situation, is Donald Trump is the coach. Donald Trump calls the play. And until someone else is in the White House, your job is to run the play. It doesn't matter. I still, but you don't have to get along with all your teammates. Anyway, this Pam Bondi thing is going to be, it's going to continue to be a story, and we will continue to follow it. And because we're at TPUSA, we're going to, you get the news firsthand. I mean, the amount of people here that are connected, the amount of people here that have an in with somebody in Washington who knows what's going on, it's really wild, and it's really fantastic. I wouldn't want to be any other place when news like this breaks. And maybe we'll get more news today, maybe tomorrow. Maybe if Pam Bondi is released from her position, or if she is asked to leave, maybe they'll put it in an Axios article tomorrow night, late at night, like they did the Epstein files. Anyway, listen, like I said, there's a lot of really interesting people here, fascinating people, and one of them is joining me now. And when I heard she was going to be here, I was like, oh my God, I totally want to talk to her, because I think one of the most transformative moments in the conservative movement recently, within the last 10 years, happened during COVID. A lot of stuff happened during COVID, but Erica Kaye is from Fresno, California, and she is a hair salon owner. And what do? You do like blonde highlights or dye? What's your specialty?
A specialty in blondes and hair extensions.
All right, can you lean a little closer?
Oh, yeah.
I just want to make sure everyone can hear you.
Okay.
So you specialize in blonde. What do you think?
Hair extensions.
Is Pam Bondi a natural blonde? Would you think?
Oh gosh, no.
Oh, okay. Is anybody a natural blonde these days?
Not really anymore.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, Erica, you own a salon, or you owned a salon specifically called E-Salon, which was in San Francisco. Is that right?
Yes.
And tell everybody your claim to fame at E-Salon.
Well, I almost say it wasn't really a claim to fame. It's just an incident that happened. So Nancy Pelosi was a client at my salon for over 6 years. I took care of her, just like I do everybody else. And at the time of the shutdown, if you guys remember, she had snuck into my salon when we were all not supposed to be working. We were out of work. And I saw that happen. And due to the hypocrisy, she was actually there getting her hair done to do an interview on MSNBC for wearing masks. And I literally see her on my videos walking around with no mask on, and everyone around her is masked, so we're like the peasants,
of course,
and she's the queen walking around. So when I saw that, it literally sickened me, because again, when they need us and I was taking care of her, we're there, but when we need them and ask them for help, they completely ignore us and define their own rules.
So let me show the footage. This is I'm sure everybody's familiar with this footage. This is Nancy Pelosi. And she is walking around this is your salon.
Yes.
And this is her, you remember this was huge news. Nancy Pelosi has no mask on. And this guy, is this one of your employees, or?
He actually, he was renting a chair for me.
Okay, got it. So everyone else has a mask. Nancy Pelosi does not. This is in the height of COVID. And she's getting her hair done because she's going on MSNBC to talk about masks.
Yes.
So you weren't there at the time, right?
No, I was actually on a flight to Nashville, and I wasn't aware that she was going in.
Right. And so you decided to release this footage when you found it because the hypocrisy was just too much for you.
It was almost, people think that really don't know too much details of the story. They think, because I'm a Republican and she's a Democrat. That's absolutely not the truth. I respect people regardless of our differences. It was because we had begged these people. I mean, Costco was open. You can go everywhere. This is September. This is like 6 months into it. My salon was COVID compliant. We still couldn't work or open. And these people, it was just the fact that it was like Gavin Newsom going into French Laundry. Like, they can,
Well, Gavin Newsom, we was a client of yours too, right?
He wasn't a client.
Oh, okay.
He had what was called the Triangle, which were restaurants in the Marina District.
Yeah.
So his people would reach out. I would give them gift cards for his wife would have a golf charity, so I would send a gift card. Whatever they asked for, I gave. Sure. I didn't, it was just they're part of my community. I didn't agree with their politics. Yeah. But that in no way would I treat them different or diss them or do anything like that. But
when this story broke, or when you saw this on to Fox News, what happened then?
It's funny because Fox News called me and asked, and they made sure if I wanted to do it because they said it was going to change my life. I didn't think about it because my mom was a single mom, worked her butt off to raise me, support me. I had built my salon from nothing. I literally worked 2 jobs and built it from nothing for 15 years. So like all of that is going through my mind. And I was so angry and so upset that I wanted the American people to know she's Speaker of the House.
Yeah, that's right.
And she's defining her own rules and turning her back on her own people. Yeah. I was so I wanted everybody to see, and that's why I did it.
And now you no longer live there because you said you can't.
No.
What happened is with death threats, people were throwing bricks through your window, they were keying your car.
Setting my salon on fire, sending me my home address, telling me my children are beautiful, why did you do this? I mean, everything.
But nobody cared that Nancy Pelosi was the hypocrite in all of this. They were all attacking you for not protecting her.
A lot of my clients are Democrats,
right.
Which is fine. I've been to their weddings. I didn't care back then, and they all called me. They couldn't stand her after that because they knew me as a person. They knew why I did it, and again, it was due really because of the hypocrisy of it all. But I stuck my head high, and I just knew I had to keep moving forward. So, like I told you, I shut down my salons and I went somewhere else where I can work. And I'm a single mom. I got to take care of my kids. So I opened a studio in Franklin, Tennessee, Huntington Beach. I go where I have to go.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I remember seeing that clip too. And here's what you don't think about: whenever you see a clip like that, whenever you see footage, there's somebody who released it. Hunter Biden's laptop, another great example. The reason we know about Hunter Biden's laptop is because the guy that worked at the store in Maryland released the laptop And then he went through the exact same thing you're going through. Hunter Biden's laptop, another great example. The reason we know about Hunter Biden's laptop is because the guy that worked at the store in Maryland released the laptop, and then he went through the exact same thing you're going through. But these people don't ever stop and think, well, wait a minute. Maybe we should house who's telling us to stay masked, forcing us to get vaccines, and then walking around without a mask on in public, which is total hypocrisy.
She did a press release after, and this is when I literally got really sick to my stomach because I was watching it.
Yeah.
It was, they called me, turn on the TV. She's doing a press conference about what happened.
Yeah.
And I felt like I was the only human being in the world that knew. I mean, she was lying. She said.
What? How? How did she? I don't even remember
I've had
that.
cameras in there forever. I didn't go turn the cameras on. Like,
any responsible business owner in California has security cameras.
I know. Her campaign people, I always say this, if I worked with her, I would have said, listen, you know what, you screwed up. Just say you screwed up.
Right.
You felt safe in there. You've been going in there. It was COVID compliant.
Right.
She said, you know what, I felt so safe. Let's open up all the small businesses, as long as they're compliant. She could have taken it to a good place. But instead, oh no, I did no wrong.
Did you ever hear from her at all?
Never.
Nothing?
No.
She didn't reach out?
Nothing.
No lawsuits, nothing like that? No lawyers?
I actually had Harmeet Dillon.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Harmeet Dillon was supposed to be here. However, she's not. We don't know why, but we're speculating. She was your lawyer, representing
this whole thing? She stepped in. Yeah? I still get goosebumps. She literally called me and stepped in. I know her personally. She's a wonderful woman.
Yeah.
She stepped in, took over. I swear to God, within 24 hours, everybody disappeared. That was coming after me. It all went away. So that woman's got a lot of...
Yeah. She was amazing, and I know that here, for a while, there was talk of her leading the GOP. Now she's found a spot in the Department of Justice. She's the deputy... Right now, she's the Deputy Attorney General in charge of civil rights, which makes perfect sense. And we don't know what her future holds in store, but yeah, she's... nobody says anything bad about her ever, which is great. So I'm glad she's on our side. Well, listen, so now what do you do? You've got 2 salons now. And what are your plans for the future? What are you going to keep building salons, or what are you going to do? Are you going to go on the public speaking tour? Are you going to run for office?
Oh, yeah, right. I thought they actually tried to get me to do that a few times.
Yeah.
I was telling...
Nobody says anything bad about her.
To redo that again. A big hair salon is not what I'm going to do. I'm literally I have 2 hair studios in different locations. Again, Franklin, Tennessee, Huntington Beach, small one in Fresno, California. And that's what I'm doing. I'm just flying around and working by myself. And in 6 years, I'm out of California. I'm moving to Florida.
We're happy to have you. There's tons of hair here. Everybody here has fake hair and extensions and blonde.
Perfect.
I mean, and people think, oh, you're in Florida. You're naturally blonde. No one's naturally. No one actually goes out in the sun here. That's all. That's all a fallacy. Who do you think now? Who do you think has the best hair in politics? Well, let's start with the administration. You got Kristi Noem is in there.
She has great hair.
Does she have the best hair, you think, in the Trump administration?
She has amazing hair.
Yeah.
I think she has extensions just fine. I do.
Of course.
But whoever does her hair always looks fantastic.
Yeah.
That's actually the first person that came to my mind. Of course, and Melania. Trump.
Oh, Melania.
Melania,
well,
Trump.
Yeah, I mean, hello. Yeah, she's So, Melania. I don't know what that was.
I just said it wrong, too.
Melania Trump,
Melania.
Kristi Noem, they both have great hair. What about, let's see, who else? Because there's a lot of folks in this administration who I know are, there was another one. Well, Pam Bondi's hair is kind of, she doesn't do a lot to it.
Needs a little dimension.
Yeah, she's got bigger problems these days. Listen, Erica Kaye, if people want to see you or find out more about you or learn about you, where do they go?
I would say my Instagram page is probably best because I have multiple locations and 2 different websites. So it's Hair by Erica Kaye.
Hair by Erica Kaye.
Yes.
ERICAKIOUS.
On Instagram, yes.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it. This was fun. Listen, while we're going to take some photos, but I want to let everybody... We're going to talk about Tucker Carlson next because Tucker Carlson is also here.
Ooh,
and Tucker,
I did his show.
Oh, yeah. Did you really?
I did his show twice.
Oh, how was that? Were you in Maine or here in Florida?
No, it was in, it was...
or was he still on Fox News?
No, he was on Fox News.
Oh, yeah. How was that?
It was amazing.
I bet. Yeah, well, he was here last night, and he had some stuff to say, and people were... on. People Most people were thrilled with his performance, but I'm going to share with you a little bit. He did a little Q&A at the end, and the question he was asked was, what do you think about amnesty for farmers? And here is what Tucker Carlson responded with.
What do I think about amnesty for farm workers? I think it's the most grotesque thing I've ever heard. Are you joking? Amnesty for farm workers? We have like 60 million illegal aliens in the country. The country bears no resemblance to the country I grew up in, and it's not better, it's worse. So I'm not going to sit for another lecture from anybody telling me we need to import more people to write code or pick grapes or any other task. Period. It hasn't worked. The country hasn't gotten richer. It hasn't become more unified. Those words should burn on the tongue of anyone who utters them. How dare you talk like that? Amnesty. How about deportation? What about that? I mean, look, and let me just say, people say all kinds of things. It doesn't mean it's happening, but I think it's worth being a little paranoid about it. I mean, I think everyone in this room is paranoid. It's important to make sure even the people you love are true to their word. Doesn't mean you hate them. Again, I don't take my kids I love my kids more than anything. I don't automatically believe everything they tell me because I'm not a moron. Because I understand that people don't always say the truth. So, but anyway, yeah, any kind of amnesty is not only a bad idea, it's like outrageous.
Yeah, that was part of Tucker Carlson. And again, Tucker Carlson, the interesting thing about Tucker Carlson is that, let me get back to my camera here. The interesting thing about Tucker Carlson is that he's one of the, I won't say few, but he's definitely one of the people that, and you can tell the people who built careers before President Donald Trump was in office and the people who built careers during President Donald Trump's presidency, whether the first or the second. But Tucker Carlson came out and he got an amazing response, an amazing reception. He said some things that not everybody agreed with, not everybody liked, but he was true to himself and he was true to his word. And that was his reaction. He almost was shocked. He was almost as genuinely shocked when people asked him questions about amnesty for farmers and there were some questions about Israel and Qatar, as he calls it, or Qatar. He was as genuinely shocked when he got those questions as Donald Trump pretended to be when he got the question about Epstein, or when he jumped in on Pam Bondi's question about Epstein from that one reporter. But Tucker Carlson, he said, look, there's so many Americans that need jobs. There's so many reasons why we don't need to import workers. We are one of other than India and China, we are one of the most populated countries in the entire world. We are the ones who invented, all of the internet and all of the technology. Why are we outsourcing it to other countries, or why are we insourcing these people from other countries when we have perfectly capable people here to do it? And amnesty should never be given away just because somebody can pick strawberries or grapes in a vineyard or marijuana, that was the other thing. So I don't know if you saw this clip, but there was a huge outcry on the left because 8-year-old children were being brought in by ICE agents, and the ICE agents were arresting their parents at a farm. That's what they told you. It was a farm. And later on, we found out that it was a marijuana farm, and that these children were being illegally used by the farmers, and the ICE agents took them away from they weren't supposed to be there anyway. And marijuana, I'm going to be honest with you, it's a cash crop, but it is not part of our, it is not part of our mandatory agricultural economic backbone. It's not something that we can't do without. And forcing illegal immigrant children to pick marijuana is not something that in this country, that's not something in this country that we've been touting. But that's I really see the passing of the One Big Beautiful Bill. I see it as kind of a turning point to jump on the whole bandwagon here. But once the One Big Beautiful Bill passed, once President Donald Trump got his entire agenda pushed through Congress, pushed through the Senate, once all of that happened, we started to see a shift. We started to see all of the other conversations start back up again. And one of the conversations was about the Epstein files, and I think that they tried to do away with it. They tried to bask in the afterglow of passing the One Big Beautiful Bill and try to wash Epstein away like everyone was going to forget about it. No one is. Dan Bongino's not going to forget about it. Kash Patel's not going to forget about it. And Pam Bondi, while she may be the pawn or the puppet or whatever, she's going to try to get people to forget about it, but it's been mishandled from the get-go. The other thing we're starting to see now is this idea of amnesty for farmers. And nobody in the Republican Party, or at least no MAGA conservative who isn't on the take for somebody, no MAGA conservative who isn't an elitist or a deep stater who's involved somehow in getting money from the agricultural lobby. Nobody is like, oh, we need amnesty so that we can keep people picking the crops. That's not at all an American concept or an American ideal. I mean, even in the tech sector, which Tucker Carlson pointed out, why are we giving special dispensation? Why are we giving special credit to folks who can code? Why don't they have to come into the country just like everybody else? They're going to want to come here. I mean, they're going to want to come here anyway. They could pay $5 million for a gold card. That's a trade-off. You're not getting amnesty, but you can come and live and work in the United States of America. You can get your green card or your gold card for $5 million. I think that's a fair trade-off because it helps us pay down the deficit. I think we're going to start seeing a lot more of these conversations come to light. Once the one big beautiful bill took up so much space in Trump's atmosphere, it took up so much time. Everybody in his entire administration was talking about it. Chris Wright was talking about it. Scott Bessent was talking about it. Secretary Hegseth was talking about it. Tom Homan, who's here today. Tom Homan, every time he was asked a border question, he was like, yeah, the border's secure. We're deporting illegal immigrants. We haven't had any crossings in months. And also, we've got to pass the one big beautiful bill. That was everybody's talking point for months. Now it passed, and everyone's like, what do we talk about? What do we do now? And these little pet projects, these little issues that have been unresolved, like Epstein and amnesty and everything else, are starting to pop back up. And it's very, very important. It's super important that everybody knows coming into 2026 that MAGA's got to regroup, that the base has got to come back together, and that the Democrats have to be kept at bay, because Donald Trump, as Scott Jennings said, Donald Trump has 3.5 more years unless the Democrats win the midterms. And if the Democrats win the midterms, it's impeachment on day one. And the last 2 years of Donald Trump's presidency will be totally ineffective. The last 2 years of Donald Trump's presidency, nothing on his agenda will get done. The Democrats will make sure of that. And they have shown over and over again that they can't be trusted. They've shown over and over again that they will vote lockstep for anything that is horrible for the United States of America, if only because Donald Trump is against it. You remember from the first term, you remember the back-to-back, you remember the 2-time impeachments? That's exactly what they're going to do again. They've already tried. They don't even have the majority. They had that weird dude from Michigan who impeached Donald Trump on 7 counts of what? Absolutely nothing. And now that's what we're facing if the Democrats win in the midterms. And we have to make sure they don't win in the midterms. And that is something that we are all hopefully going to make sure it doesn't happen. 2026 is so important, and that's why these events are so important too, because with these events, what you do is you have people coming together, voters coming together, remembering what was at stake. This is very reminiscent of the atmosphere that you had in 2024. And if you are a Republican, the danger when you have such a big win. I mean, Donald Trump talks about it all the time. He's like, we're winning. So many dubs that we're stacking. But the danger that you have when you stack so many dubs in rapid succession and you take control of the House of Representatives and the Senate and the presidency and the Supreme Court, and you're able to throttle the district courts, when all that happens, the danger is that you take it for granted and you think that that's the new normal and that's the way that it's going to be. And that's not really the way it is. Every single election is a battle. Every single election we've got to fight and we've got to win. All right, my next guest is here too, and we're going to line her up here in just a minute. I'm going to make sure that she's ready. Hi, Sam. How are you?
I'm just talking with people because I can't help myself.
I know.
I don't have earphones, so I can't hear a word you're saying.
I know it's very loud in here. Hold on. I'm gonna pull on your camera. And we're going to go live. Is that cool with you?
Yes.
Fantastic.
Oh, we're not live yet?
We're live now, yeah.
I'm disappointed in you.
No, I've been live for an hour and a half, and I was like,
of
oh,
course
yeah.
you have.
Sam will be fine going live. Sam Sorbo is here. Hi,
Wait,
Sam. How
how's
are
my
you?
Hair?
It's beautiful. We just had
Oh,
Erica.
this is radio, right?
No, we're live. Look,
I know,
there you
I
are.
know, I'm kidding.
We had Erica Kaye here. She could have done
Who's
your.
that?
She's the salon owner who released the footage of Nancy Pelosi in California.
Yes,
maskless.
Erica. Of course,
Yeah.
I just met her yesterday. She's Super cool.
I could have had her hang out. Like, she could have done her hair live on camera.
That's
or
true.
whatever,
She could have done my hair. It's true.
Now, Sam, good to see you, by the way.
Thank you so much. It's great to be seen.
Sam is Kevin Sorbo's wife.
This is true.
And
I don't deny it.
Braden Sorbo. We interviewed Braden earlier. Braden Sorbo's
Raven
mom.
Sorbo's sister. Oh, sorry.
I'm
mom.
sorry. Right, sister. You have other kids too, right?
I do.
Are they all political activists? Is everybody
No.
here? No.
No.
Okay.
No, just Braden.
Just Braden.
The others, I have an actor son. So Braden's an actor.
Yeah.
My second son's also an actor, so they share that in common. And my third one is like, nobody understands where she came from because she's an artist. And she's super talented. And where did that,
What,
the visual acuity is unbelievable.
Are you saying that you and your other children and your husband aren't super
I
talented?
do not draw.
Oh, okay. All right.
I say I'm a very patient person.
Yeah.
I lack that much patience.
That happened. My kids are big into math. They're advanced
Yes.
in math.
Yes.
And they got a hold of one of my report cards. They were like, "How did
What
you?"
is advanced, though?
I mean,
What does that mean?
They were doing calculus in 8th grade.
Yeah, but we should all be doing calculus in 8th grade.
Okay,
frankly.
you're right. So they're advanced for the United States, but they're
Yeah.
average for Japan.
I won't go that far, but you're getting my gist.
Yeah.
You're getting the gist of what I'm saying.
I
But
totally
that's cool.
understand
They're
it.
advanced,
Yeah.
and I love math. So
Oh, well, see.
so I homeschooled my kids.
Did you
And
really?
so when they would come to me and say, "I need some help with my math," I'd be like, "Yay, math! We're gonna do math! I can't wait."
That's such a
they
wow!
would
What an
be-
outlier you are.
They would be like this.
What parent is thrilled to do math homework?
No, I love math. Oh, I always loved math. I
right.
didn't realize, so growing up, in school, they've bifurcated
Yeah.
the sciences and math from the humanities
Yeah.
and the reading and the writing and all of that, the
Right.
languages, right? And it's a complete lie.
Right.
And so people adopt this lie because math is a language, and so it's a little bit more challenging to teach.
Right.
Because it is a foreign language, and it's not taught like it's a foreign language.
Yeah.
It's taught like it's this otherworldly thing. A lot of people adopt this attitude like, well, I was a humanities kid. I was not a math and I don't have a math brain. And I'm like, there is no such thing. That's like saying, well, I'm an American, so I don't have a French brain. That's silly. Like, it's another language. You just learn it.
Yeah.
And yes, some people may have a little bit more of an aptitude, but I think it really comes down to the teachers.
Yeah.
So I tutored calculus when I was in college.
Oh, wow.
And I had a young woman come to me, a student, and I went to Duke. So she was no slouch. She was a bright girl, right?
So you're like the smartest person here, probably.
But she was flunking
Right.
out of her calculus class.
Yeah.
And she begged me, she said, "Can you just get me a D-?" My professor would tell me if I got a D-, he wouldn't fail me and I won't have to do this again.
Right.
And I said, okay, well, let's see where we go. And I got her to a B+.
Oh,
she
wow.
got a B+ on her final exam.
Look at that. That's fantastic.
And it just depends on how it's taught.
Yeah.
And so her professor said, I've never seen anybody make such an improvement. I'm like, no, because you give up on your students. You literally condemn them with your words.
Yeah.
So
it's
that
your
they
fault.
would never.
That's what I always say. I always say if because my kids would come home and say, everybody did badly on this test. I go, well, then that's a bad teacher. Because
Right.
everybody should not be doing badly
Right.
on the test. And the teacher will say, well, you guys didn't study. I'm like, everybody in the class didn't study? Clearly that's not true. Half of them, sure, but not the other half. So are you here this weekend just running around tutoring people on math?
Yes, that's it. That's
Is that what you're
exactly
doing?
2 plus 2, baby. Come on, out with it. No, I am representing parents.
Parents are very
And I am very much
important.
about parental rights. So you probably know I'm a homeschool advocate.
I do, yes.
Right,
Well, we
so-
met at Mar-a-Lago for James O'Keefe had his
Right.
movie premiere there, and you were there, and that's the first time we interviewed, and I remember all of that. And homeschooling is
So this is my
so
book.
important. Look at that.
Right?
Let me hold on. Let me pull you up full.
Parents Guide to Homeschool.
There you go.
And but I'm also working on Tuesday in Washington D.C.
Yeah.
We have the Parents Demanding Justice Alliance that is putting on a press conference together with Congressman Andy Ogles,
Okay.
who is our sponsor.
Yeah.
And we are raising awareness of the idea that our Justice Department under Merrick Garland categorized parents who were interested in their schools as domestic terrorists.
Yeah.
So if you're a parent and you took an interest in your child's education, you were automatically characterized as a domestic terrorist, and the FBI was sicked on you, and they didn't actually keep
Yeah.
it national level.
Right.
They didn't stay at the federal level. They went local. And so there are a lot of injured parents out there. My partner in this is Kelly Walker.
Yeah.
They arrested him. So now he has an arrest on his record that he can't seem to get expunged, even though nothing came of it.
Yeah.
But they also were so punitive against him. They doxed him. They outed him. They shut down his business.
Yeah.
He had to move states.
Right.
Now he's struggling to find a job because he's got an arrest on his record.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, what did you do at your last job? Well, why did you give up there? So there are a lot of parents like that. We represent a lawyer who the school board called the law office and said, you need to fire that man or we're going to pull all of our contracts.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that happened with President Donald Trump. He lost lawyers.
Correct.
Because
Lawfare, yes.
Yeah, everyone was like, if you represent the president in this case, we're never going to do business with you again. And the law firms would have gone under.
Yeah, that's right. So the point is, we're raising awareness in this press conference. We are asking for an executive order.
Yeah.
We would like to be recognized by the president. And here's the overarching thing. What's the number one predictor of academic success for a child?
The
Parental
SAT,
involvement.
The parental involvement is exactly what I was going to say. It's not the
Number
SAT.
one predictor.
Right.
If the parent is interested in the child's success, the child does better.
Right. That's true.
Full stop. Like,
Yeah.
that's just no other metrics needed. Doesn't matter what the parent's level of education is.
Right. Thank God.
Doesn't matter. So any school that sets itself up to tell a parent, and we have this situation, there was a school board member that called local law enforcement and said, I don't want this man on school property ever again. And so they barred a father from watching his son play baseball.
Yeah.
And when he went to pick up his kid after school, they arrested him for trespass.
That's crazy.
Right? And so that's a school that's not interested in that child's academic success.
Have you found that school? I mean, and I don't know whether it was COVID or whatever, or the FBI, or the law, lawfare, or all of the the weaponization of the government agencies. Have you found that there is a surge in parents homeschooling their kids?
Absolutely.
In the last, how many more parents are homeschooling these days?
So it doubled over
Doubled.
COVID.
Doubled. Okay.
The long result is that COVID resulted in a doubling of homeschooling.
Right.
And now it's even more because we have all these other initiatives.
Right.
It's becoming more popular. People are learning.
Yeah.
The metrics bear out. School will never beat homeschool. It can't.
No, there's no way.
And homeschoolers, just on average, they score 25% higher on the standard testing.
Right.
And in the minority communities, it's up to 47% better.
Wow.
And so it's regardless of the parent's level of education. It has nothing to do with the parent's level of education.
Yeah.
What they learn, what homeschoolers eventually, if they stick with it and they finally figured it out, they figure out that it's the actual natural curiosity of the child that drives learning.
Right.
And so when a child goes into an institution where they are treated like a cog in a wheel and they're told, no, you may not ask that question now because I'm talking about this thing. Right? It does the opposite.
100%.
It's the opposite.
My son, so during COVID, I remember my kids, it was like the first week or whatever, and they said, all right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to meet in the beginning they're going to do a Zoom call, and they're going to give you all the assignments for the day. And that was it. And then he would spend the day at home doing all the assignments. So the Zoom call was at like 8:30, and then they got all the assignments. And at 10 o'clock, my son would like come into the room and sit down and start eating. I go, why aren't you doing your assignments? He goes, I did them all.
Yeah.
And I said, it's been an hour. He goes, yeah, I did it. I go, you did a day's worth of work in an hour? And that's how you... So that showed me, wow, school is really a huge waste of time.
Are you still homeschooling now?
No, my kids are graduating. Well, my son just graduated, and my daughter's a senior now. But they go to
but I want people to hear that. School doesn't take 7.5 hours a day.
It's absolutely not.
Not even close. And so then what are they doing with your kids for the rest of that time?
They're disciplining the other kids, or they're telling them.
They're wasting your children's time.
It really is interesting when you hear that kind of stuff. And then every now and then, like for example, when my daughter was one of them. They were really young. They were maybe 7 or 8. One of my kids comes home and goes, Daddy, did you know that only one woman has ever run to be vice president of the United States? And I said, that's not true. Who told you that? I go, there have been multiple women who've run. Geraldine Ferraro.
Geraldine Ferraro is the first one that comes to mind.
Then you had Sarah Palin, and then Kamala Harris. I go, who's telling you that? They're like, that's what my teacher told me. I go, okay, I got to call the school. But those are the kind of, there's 6 Supreme Court justices. No, there's not. What about the others?
There's 6 good ones.
There's 6. Well, yeah, okay, 6-ish good ones, depending on the day of the week.
There's one Supreme Court justice that does not know what a woman is.
That's right, at least one, and there's 2 that won't admit it. So. Well, that's fantastic. Now, your kids, so you homeschooled all your kids?
Yes.
That's amazing. And they turn out really well. Like I said, we talked to Braden, and he's written a book. How old is he?
Second book.
That's his second book?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. How old is he?
He is 23 now. His first book was called The BS Guide to Politics.
That's a good one.
Oh, BS stands for Braden Sorbo. I don't know what you were thinking.
I was thinking Braden Sorbo for
Right.
sure.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, and your husband, he's not coming to these events, but he's very active on social media when it comes to the conservative men. How did that all come about? Did he get, was there a story with his career taking a turn or him not getting hired or something?
So Hercules was shot in New Zealand, so he was out of the fracas for quite a long time. And then we moved to Vancouver and we shot the other show, Andromeda, for 5 years in Vancouver. And then eventually we got back to LA. And back in the States, things had started to heat up politically and social media was taking off and all of that. And so he was just vocal.
Yeah. He was
and I said to him, like, as it sort of ramped up, I said, you might want to tone it down.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't care. It's the truth. And, well, it was the truth, but it got him into a little bit of trouble.
Yeah.
And so, they did an intervention.
Right.
And they said, you're not welcome in Hollywood anymore.
Is that what you call it? An intervention?
It was a Hollywood intervention.
An excommunication or an intervention?
It was pretty funny.
Yeah. But here's the thing. Now, your whole family has really kind of, glommed onto and taken advantage of and really been an inspiring part of the conservative movement in America. So every cloud, right?
Well, we love truth.
Yeah.
And so wherever truth is, that's where we are headed. And it's too bad that so many people are on the road to destruction.
Yeah.
With the lies that are so active in our communities today. I can't stand it, and I won't stand for it, and neither will he. And it took him a little bit to sort of settle into this kind of new role that he's taken. But he does a lot of public speaking. He does a lot of pro-life speaking.
Yeah.
He does a lot of speaking at Christian schools and things like that. Because as truth seekers or truth followers, which would be Christ followers.
Yeah.
We have to be galvanized. We have been so we've been destroyed by our schools because Christians who send their children to public schools or government schools are sending them to a school of another denomination. It's a different religion. And that's how we're losing our religion. And even part of this, I think, is that a lot of pastors went to public school. And so you have pastors out there who don't actually believe the Bible. They take the good parts, the parts that are meaningful to them, and then they leave the rest off.
Yeah.
And so it's a dilution of the truth in a sense, and we shouldn't be okay with that.
No, it really. And I sent my kids to Catholic school, which was amazing because that was the first thing they learned every day. They came home, they know all about the commandments, they know everything else, and it is truly when you remove that aspect of learning from a child's life, whether it's at school or not. And I know, if you go to a Catholic school, you're going to Catholic church. They force you to go during school.
Well, yes and no, because a lot of Catholic schools have adopted some woke curriculum.
That is true.
And so you need to be a little bit.
You still need to be involved.
You got to do your research and find out who. And by the way, they're just hiring teachers.
Well,
they're just hiring the teacher, right?
Yeah.
So
you got to find the
teacher,
old school Catholic where the nuns still
with the rulers,
beat
right? They need to beat the children.
And we walked in, and I remember meeting the headmaster at the time, this woman that ran the school, and she was right out of
headmistress, dear.
Sorry,
come on, get your genders correct.
I apologize for misgendering her. She was right out of The Sound of Music, and I was this is the place where our kids need to go.
How do you solve a problem like my son, right?
Yeah, but you're right. There are more modernized, more like Joe Biden, Nancy Pelosi type Catholic schools.
Sadly.
And that is probably a problem, sure.
Yes, because they still call themselves Catholic.
Yeah.
And so parents, look, we have a lot of Christian schools that are like that too.
Yeah.
Parents sign up, and I'm thinking of one in particular, and it's a very well-known school, and they have a lot of money.
Yeah.
And so it's very pretty. It looks really good.
Yeah.
And there is so much sex going on at that high school, like crazy.
Yeah.
And so you go, okay, so how Christian is it? Because all these kids are just,
they're just partying hard. Yeah.
It's scary.
Yeah, that is true.
And the parents, they just bring their kids and they go,
Here,
this is a good environment for you. And I know some of the kids, and the kids are saying, yeah, my mom doesn't know.
That has no idea.
Yeah, it's sad.
That's wild. So, all right, hold up the book again.
Oh, this is the book.
This is the book.
So if you have any qualms or questions about home educating your children, this book should answer all those questions. And you can also email me. Just go to sorbostudios.com. All the information is there. Or samsorbo.com. That's my name. And I just want to tell people you can live stream the press conference on Tuesday at 11 a.m. And Congressman Andy Ogle's live stream will be carrying it. And I'm very excited about this. I want want the president to do some kind of ceremony to
Right.
acknowledge that we support parents who stand up for their kids, and he should rename himself Parent-in-Chief.
That'd be great.
Right?
Yeah.
Make parenting great again. Come on, folks.
I love it.
Bring back the family.
You got to make some hats.
And by the way, like youth are not getting married.
No.
The young people are not getting married. We got to make it enticing for them. We got to show them that this is the right way to go about life.
Oh yeah, well, we were talking to Brayden about that. The nuclear family. I mean, that's where the real downfall started.
You're kidding. He's actually in agreement with me. That's amazing.
Did you not talk over dinner? Like,
We talk all the time.
Yeah, I figured as much.
He's
yeah.
literally. I won't say mini me because he's so big.
Because he's
so
taller
he's
than
maxi me
yeah.
or something. I don't
know.
know.
He's like 6'7", that kid.
He's bigger than life.
Is he taller than his father?
Yes.
Is he really?
Oh yeah.
Oh, wow.
Both my boys are taller than Kevin.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, but that's what you want. You want your kids to be. My son has more hair than I do. That's all I cared about. So hopefully he'll keep it. Sam Sorbo, sorbostudios.com, right?
That's correct.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
It's always a pleasure.
This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we'll see you again. This is great. And the whole Sorbo family, we appreciate them. Are you going to the next one, AmFest? In December, do we know?
Yes, probably.
Okay,
yes.
perfect. Well, maybe I'll see you there. Yeah, that's the thing. So TPUSA does a lot of these conferences all over, and they are always adding new chapters, but the big one is in Phoenix. And everyone keeps saying, "Are you coming to Phoenix? Are you coming to Phoenix?" And I go, "I don't know. It's really close to Christmas, so we'll have to see." But it's one of the largest groupings. Thank you. Bye. You're good to go, yeah. I mean, you're welcome to stay, but you're good to go. I know. It's one of the biggest groupings of conservative youth in the entire country, and I found out why they do it at Christmas time. I'm like, why do you guys do it so close to Christmas? It's really, first of all, it's tough to go to anywhere during Christmas because it is more expensive to fly. Everyone's flying home. But they've got the kids out of college. And, it's right after finals. It's right after exams. All the college kids, they want to go and they want to TPUSA, and they want to hang out with all their friends and they want to learn about conservatism, but they don't want to skip exams. So it's really interesting. It's something that we're going to look into and we're going to see if we can make happen. But it's like I said, these events are really important. And even if they're local, anytime you can go to, because I've been going now that I'm running for Congress, because like I said, it's so important we have the right people. Auditing the Republican Party is so important. And the reason auditing the Republican Party is so important is because we need to make sure we have the right Republicans in power. It's not just good enough to have Republicans. Look at Mitch McConnell in Kentucky. We were talking to Scott Jennings about that. Mitch McConnell is a Republican, but Mitch McConnell has voted against President Donald Trump and voted against conservative things and voted for Mitch McConnell so many times. It's sickening. Mitch McConnell has used money, Republican money that was given to him as he was the herald of that money. His job was to protect Republicans and make sure that more Republicans were being elected, and he used it to just reelect his friends and squash good conservative voices like Kelly Tshibaka, for example. And that is exactly what we're starting to see. I saw something pop up on. I want to go to X real quick because it's been like a solid hour since I checked X, and in this day and age, if you don't check X every 15 minutes, then you're way behind. And if you're not constantly have like one eye on the camera and one eye on what's going on in the world, then you're behind the eight ball. But let's just see what the latest is. It looks like, and I'm going to be honest with you. I'm trying to be as I don't want to say I'm not picking sides, but. And again, I don't know Pam Bondi. I know her because she was Attorney General here in the state of Florida. I've heard some stories, yada, yada. But I do know Dan Bongino personally. And, you don't walk away from something like Dan Bongino walked away from just to destroy your career and your credibility. So like I said, I would pick him 3 times on Wednesday and every other single day of the week. Oh, I do need to mention this too real quick because this came up yesterday. AOC, Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez, she got on X because, she's a new face of the Democrat Party. And I want you to realize this. When you see AOC interviewed, when you hear AOC say something stupid, when you see her on social media and she's tweeting something or writing something on X that's really just outrageous, know that this woman is the face and the voice and the leader of the Democrat Party. It's not Hakeem Photoshop Jeffries. It's not even Jasmine Crockett as much as she wishes it were. It's Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She's from New York. She's currently on tour with Bernie Sanders. She's out there fighting the oligarchy, and she is doing her best to try to become the first female president of the United States, which hopefully she'll fail at. She at least will try to become the next senator from New York to replace Chuck Schumer. But AOC goes on yesterday, and she writes, "Who would have thought that electing a rapist would have complicated the release of the Epstein files?" And this is, of course, bad for a couple of reasons. Number one, it's basically defamatory toward the president because he was never convicted of rape. And if you ever have questions about it, just talk to the folks on The View. The ladies on The View know what's up when it comes to calling President Donald Trump a racist, because ABC has already shelled out a whole bunch of cash to the upcoming presidential library. And I don't know, maybe AOC wants to spend some of her campaign cash on a wing at President Donald Trump's library. But it was yesterday that it popped up. And I immediately wrote to our friend John Rutherford, who sits on the ethics committee, and said, "Hey, do you want to do something about your colleague here who is bad-mouthing the president and basically slandering him and libeling him in front of everybody? Or do you want to just sit back and do nothing?" And he didn't respond, so I imagine he's going to sit back and do nothing, which is what he usually does. All right, I'm very excited. The guests keep coming, man. The hits just keep rolling. And I'm very excited to have Heather Mullins here. I think I first found you when your Chris Christie photo went viral. Let me turn on your mic there.
Oh, God.
That was that, a year, 2 years ago? When was that?
I think it was 2023. It was during the primary. That's all I know.
During the primary. So I'm going to find it. Tell everyone about the Chris Christie photo while I search for it.
It's so funny. All right, so I'm a reporter and an investigative journalist.
And who do you work for?
I'm independent.
Great.
I worked for 4 years for Real America's Voice and contributed on Steve Bannon's War Room covering election integrity.
Yep.
And then I worked for another smaller network called LFA. And for that particular Chris Christie photo, I was on my way to the Faith and Freedom Conference in Washington, D.C. from my home state of New Hampshire.
Right.
And Chris Christie was there campaigning shortly after Mar-a-Lago got raided by the FBI.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me show the photo here. This is you. And you're going back to where?
I'm on a plane to Washington, D.C. from New Hampshire.
Okay. And this is, I got to zoom in on this. This is you in the Free the First, was it Free the First shirt?
Yeah, that's actually a Turning Point shirt.
And then, of course it is. And then Make America Great Again. And then there's you. And then right behind you.
Yeah, that's the wannabe commander-in-chief taking a nap on his way to his next campaign stop.
This doesn't look like a red eye or anything.
No.
I mean, this is the middle of the day.
No, it was not.
And so how viral did this go?
Oh, God. It might have actually been one of the most viral photos of 2023.
I think it was.
It kind of went around the world. I had, UK news networks reaching out to me. I had
that's the best.
Donald Trump ended up posting it. Chris Christie himself posted a screenshot of Donald Trump posting it. Like, it just, and it wouldn't die either.
Yeah, no.
So, like, months later, when they did the first RNC debate that Trump didn't show up to, there was a guy that had printed out the photo of Chris Christie, put it on a 2x4 of wood, and was like picketing outside the RNC convention with Chris Christie.
That is fantastic.
Crazy story.
Look, and that's all it takes in this day and age. You're right place, right time. Were you hesitant? So you took the photo.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, walk us through it. You're sitting there. Did he come on first, or did you?
No. He was actually standing in the jet bridge as I was walking down.
Was the plane? That was before the takeoff or anything?
Before the takeoff, yeah. And he looked at me. We made eye contact, and I just looked at him, smiled, nodded, and said good luck. And he smiled and said thanks, and I got on. And then, ironically, I had gotten upgraded to first class, like compliments of the airline.
Right, because
so
you're ahead of him.
I was ahead of him. And then he just falls asleep, and I tweeted the photo while the airplane was in the air. Yeah. And by the time we had landed, it had gone so viral that he probably woke up from his nap, and like his PR team was probably freaking out, like, dude, like someone just took a picture. Because there was a moment where, like, I turned to look behind me once we landed, and he was looking at me dead in the eye, like he knew at that point. Like, I knew.
That is hilarious.
But, I mean, here's the thing, right? Yeah. He had just been in my state. This was shortly after Mar-a-Lago got raided, and he was making the argument that somehow that raid was justified.
Right.
And I was just like, I mean, hello, Fourth Amendment. Like you're running for, to be commander-in-chief, and you're going to say that unlawful search and seizure is a thing? Okay, whatever. So I didn't feel bad, like, at that point. I was like, you know what, buddy? Like, if this is war, it's war. And I just snapped my little photo and was like, this guy wants to be your commander-in-chief.
And let's be honest, it's not like you caught him in some kind of compromising position. He wasn't
it
with
was
like
pretty compromising.
Okay, it was compromising. But I mean, literally, you're
I
like,
think Don Jr. posted it with the caption, making fupas great again.
I would argue that it's not that great. But I will say this, that if you if you post a photo of somebody just sleeping, you can't help how they look when they're asleep. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's amazing, and that's what politics is all about. So now, after that photo, what happened? You've been at all these events, and I see you ever. What happened? Did your career even like explode?
Well, I mean, like, it's funny that like I've had a pretty great career in journalism, and that sort of overshadowed.
Yeah.
People would see me and be like, "Oh, you're the girl that took the Chris Christie photo," and I'm like, "Yeah." But I did a lot of actually work in election integrity, so I was very in the thick of it during the 2020 election. I was at the State Farm Marina, and ballots were getting pulled out, and I was in the courtrooms with, Rudy Giuliani and all the Trump attorneys when they were doing the Senate hearings, and I had whistleblowers come forward to me, and so like really for about 4 years, my big story that like I would chase was all things election fraud, election related, and it was kind of wild because there was a time when the media was spreading. Remember the big lie?
Yeah, the big lie.
Like you were not allowed to say that the election was stolen.
Right.
Or what they would do is they would associate it with January 6th.
Yeah.
Like, oh, if you're spreading the big lie, you're responsible for the insurrection.
That's exactly right. Jake Tapper, anytime he had a Republican on, it doesn't matter if they were talking about the economy or defense spending, whatever, his first question was, before we start, would you now claim that Joe Biden is the true president of the United States? And if you answered it the wrong way, he discounted you for the rest of the interview. That was his litmus test.
Yeah, well, it's funny because actually at one CPAC, right after the 2020 election, I think it was February of like 2021, I bumped into Jim Acosta at CPAC, and he was, chasing Matt Schlapp around saying like, hey, is this the big lie convention? Is this the big lie convention? And so I confronted him because I had been spending the last 5 months, last 4 months covering the election fraud on the ground. Like I was in the courtrooms. I know what happened.
Yeah.
And then he tried to get me in a gotcha moment, and he's like, so you're saying, like, why would Joe Biden want Kamala to win? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, why don't you tell me why Kamala Harris's campaign photographer got a job adjudicating ballots in a red county that came up 2,700 votes short, mostly for Trump?
Yeah.
I'm like, can you answer that? And he's like, oh, and he's like, send me the information. I'm like, give me your card, and he walks away.
Yeah.
So it's like, they don't want to hear the facts. And this is where, as a journalist, it really opened my eyes because I think prior to the 2020 election stuff, like for seeing the fraud firsthand, I didn't realize just how deceptive legacy media is. And there's a difference between like they don't know something, that's why they're not talking about it, to I just presented you with something that is very, can I say damning? And you don't want to hear it. Right? Like, you're refusing to look at the evidence, which now in my mind makes you a deceptive member of the public press.
Yeah.
And so like, I don't care if you don't believe something because you don't know about it, but when you refuse the evidence, when I'm willing to put it right in front of you, and it's undeniable, and this has to do with the subverting of our own country that you and I share.
Yeah.
Like, I have to wonder, what is your motive? Is it really selling your soul for a paycheck, or is there something more sinister going on? So, CNN, ironically, headquartered in Fulton County, where Fani Willis, indicted President Trump and was it 18 other people, including grandmas, the GOP in Georgia, all of this stuff. It's disgusting. So in my opinion, networks like CNN are a threat to Americans. It's almost like I refer to it as journalistic terrorism because they're deliberately misleading Americans in order to subvert our country.
That's amazing. We had Scott Jennings here just a couple hours ago, and he said something very similar because he just got into who was the representative from New York? I always forget his name, Torres, and he got into an argument about the CBO report, and he was denying the facts in the CBO report. And Scott Jennings said, Democrats wrote this report, and you're telling me these things that are in this report you're lying, and you can't argue with that.
Yeah.
You can argue with somebody who has a bad argument. you can't argue with somebody who just refuses to see the truth. And that is what one of the big difficulties is. So you're from New Hampshire. I didn't know that.
Well, originally I'm from Cape Cod, Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Now I live, with a little more freedom and a little less taxes in the state of New Hampshire.
That's fantastic. My son's going to school in New Hampshire in the fall.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Do you know Caroline Levitt?
I do very well. She's a friend. Corey Lewandowski is also from New Hampshire. So we've got quite a few Patriots, up in the New England area.
Do you know Lily Tang Williams?
I do. I sure do. Yes, I do.
All my so many of my favorite people are from New Hampshire, and I always ask them the same question. I go, why the heck is New Hampshire still a blue state?
It all comes back to the elections, honestly. Like, we really need to, I think, the only good thing that came out of the 2020 election was that more people were talking about election integrity than probably ever before.
Right, that's true.
Like the idea of okay, when you go in to vote on election day, what happens to my vote?
Right.
Who counts it?
Right.
Is there a chain of custody?
Yeah.
Are
Mail-in
these
ballots,
machines
that kind of thing.
trustworthy? Right? And where we need to get to is we need to run our elections with the same level of professionalism and security that we run banks with.
Yeah.
So imagine going into a bank, right, and you deposit your money and $20,000 accidentally goes into this account.
Yeah.
Or, somebody goes and takes $50,000 out of a vault, but there's no paper trail. We don't know whose hands it went through. Or, the same way if you treated ballot drop boxes like ATM machines, you can't access them without dual control. You need two people. You have to sign the paperwork.
Yep.
What our elections looked like in 2020, if that was a bank, it would be out of business and nobody would put their money in there. We had ballots missing. We have chain of custody documents missing. We had ballots showing up that we didn't know where they came from. It was an absolute disaster.
My favorite was
absolute disaster.
My favorite was Redemption. I call it Redemption Day for the conspiracy theorists when they found that 20,000 fake driver's licenses from China came through, and everyone was like, "Oh, look at that!" So it did happen. That's wild, huh? Too bad we can't do anything about it right now. All right, so Heather Mullins. Now it's Talk Mullins with an S, right?
Yeah, it's Talk Mullins, and I'm actually the official news director for a network that's launching called America First News.
Oh, wow.
So we're going to be launching sometime in September, but if you go to americafirstnews.com, you can sign up to our email list, and you'll be notified when our lineup of amazing shows gets launched, and we're working with FinTech TV. They've got financial news, crypto news, stock market news, and a beautiful studio that they broadcast out of from the floor of the New York Stock Exchange.
Oh, look at this.
So I decided, we can't put our faith in networks like CNN, and the best way to combat that is with real journalism, which is what America First News is going to be rooted in.
Hang on, I have to give you my email address so it's undefined. I don't even know what that even means. Let me try again because I want to see this. This is great. I love every time somebody launches a new net. It's undefined. It's not letting me through. I'll use my secondary email. Hang on. This is my burner account.
I just feel like from my experience working in media and just realizing that there is such a need for real fact-based journalism, and especially in the election integrity route. And it's just that was one area of research, right? And we want to cover everything that's important, from the border to election integrity, to the grassroots issues and legislation impacting schools, your kids, your health. All of it is so important, but we need to get back to real fact-based journalism where sources are cited and receipts are the pathway to the truth. Not hearsay,
right?
You know what I mean? And there's a lot of that on both sides, truthfully, in media, whether it's left-wing or conservative. But real journalism is about having a fact-based approach,
right?
Where having sat in courtrooms and listening to, I'll give you one example. Stacey Abrams and Mark Elias sued True the Vote over challenging ineligible voter records in the state of Georgia. And I sat in on my first federal trial there, and when you listen firsthand into these trials, and you realize there's so much in the courtrooms that don't even make the transcripts, right?
Yeah.
When you object to stuff and it gets struck from the record,
sure.
Unless you're in that room, you're not going to have any idea. And so another one of our approaches is to make sure for these big federal suits that we get journalists across the country sitting in that can report back. But I just think journalism, even in conservative media, there's some good ones out there. I really like John Solomon. He's a good one. Steve Bannon, another good one. And, there are people out there, but there's nothing to compete with the CNNs, the Fox, the MSNBC and all of that. Not that they ever stick to facts, but in terms of their footprint.
Right.
And so that's what we hope to do with America First News. And I'm really confident that the guys over at FinTech TV, they're already established.
Yeah.
Great heads on their shoulders.
That's awesome. So is that going to be? Are you going to be in New York for that, or are you going to be
they
traveling?
already have a studio in New
Where
York.
are you going? Are you there now?
I'm still going to be based out of New Hampshire. In fact,
perfect.
we're going to be doing one of the things we plan to do is during the New Hampshire primary, which is the first in the nation primary. We're going to do really good deep dive election coverage of all the candidate hopefuls from both parties, right? We want to hear, because even in New Hampshire, I can tell you with RFK Jr., Tulsi Gabbard, when they ran in that primary and the things that were happening to them, the censorship, the Democrats turned on their own.
Of course, well, because of course, because they were asking questions like, why are you doing that? Why are we impeaching President Donald Trump? He didn't do anything unconstitutional. But yes, that's why they hate them. So that's a good point too, because being in New Hampshire, which is the first primary state, looking forward to 2026. I mean, Donald Trump not being on the ballot, we think, although I know Steve is still looking at it, right? Is he still digging?
What, for 2028?
I'm sorry, for 2028, yeah. Steve Bannon, he's still digging around looking for...
I mean, he thinks it's possible.
I know. I heard him twice say that. I was like, well, he said it twice now. He's a very intelligent man. He knows a lot more than I do.
I'm kind of wondering if we're going to see, a Trump child run, maybe.
Well, that's
Eric
what I
Trump.
said. So the Trump 2028 hat, I wore that one day, and people got furious with me. I go, it doesn't say Donald Trump. It just says Trump. There's 9 of them.
Well, the first time it popped up was literally Eric Trump wearing it on his Instagram.
That's exactly right. Don Jr., you've got Ivanka, who probably won't run. You've got Laura, who I know wants to be a senator. You've got, who else is old enough? Is Tiffany old enough? Probably not.
I don't know.
And Barron down the road. But in New Hampshire, I mean, look at the bench. We got J.D. Vance, I know, is the vice president. Seems like the natural choice. Marco Rubio has been a fan favorite since he became Secretary of State. Ron DeSantis has done multiple things in the state of Florida that have been a huge shining light going, I'm running again in 2028. I mean, opening Alligator Alcatraz is like announcing your campaign in my book. So what is the New Hampshire girl in you say looking forward toward 2028? Who becomes the presumptive nominee, or who would it be the front runner?
I think it's whoever President Trump is going to put his support behind. Honest to God. I think that base is so solid. His base is who you have to win over, because it's probably going to be the largest voting bloc of the Republican primary.
Right.
They're pretty united on core issues, from border and immigration to election integrity, foreign policy, and I think that's who you're going to have to win over. I don't foresee a DeSantis or somebody like that making a comeback just after, what happened in the previous, running against Trump, like that sort of breach in loyalty. I think is important, because what Americans fear most is what we've had for decades, and that's electing someone who says one thing and then proves disloyal to the American people once they get in. So from a character standpoint, loyalty is a quality and a character trait you want in someone running for president when you give them your vote, because that's what we need, is someone who's going to honor it and have integrity once they get there, which is what we see with President Trump, honoring the campaign promises he made with the border and all these other things. So, there's been some controversy in the administration recently. We'll see how that unfolds, but no one can deny that President Trump, he couldn't be bought. There was, the thing with Elon Musk, as much as they wanted to work together, you can't buy influence. He truly represents the American people that put him in there, and he's going to stick to his guns on that.
So this morning, funny you should bring that up, and I know you've been in courtrooms, so you know a lot about lawyers and attorneys general and whatnot. This morning, I was sitting here, Steve Bannon comes out on stage right down the road, and Jack Posobiec's with him, and the first thing they say is, how did you like Megyn Kelly last night? And the crowd just erupted, because she came out talking about how Pam Bondi's got to go. Do you agree that Pam Bondi's got to go? Is she the reason that this mess erupted the way it did?
I mean, I'm not in the room when those conversations are being had, right? And here's what I would say to people listening, is I would caution you, when people are emotionally reacting online based on this, based on that, the question you need to focus on is, what are the receipts? What's actually been said?
Right.
What is, a fact, right? Put all the facts on the table. What has Pam Bondi said? Compare that. Has she at one point said she had a list on her table? She claims that she was speaking generally, I had all of it. So here's what people are claiming, is that she claims to have the list. I've seen the clip, right? I could see how it could be construed either way. Maybe she just, was speaking generally like, yeah, it's all on my list. I haven't looked at it or on my desk, yada, yada, yada. I think there's a lot of assuming and stuff like that going on. So I would just caution people to wait for the administration to speak. Wait for, the words coming out of their own mouths on their own government social media accounts, and then base your assessment off of that, not off of commentators and influencers and people sort of rage bait.
And the lesson that
sharing.
Megyn Kelly said was maybe Pam Bondi talks a little too much. And that's why everyone was expecting too much, because she was out there doing a lot more interviews than probably any attorney general we've ever had. So.
I mean, for me, in a personal capacity, I really thought the world of Matt Gaetz, and I thought he would have been a great attorney general. Pam Bondi, I don't know a whole lot about her. I did meet her when she was up in New Hampshire for an RNC Protect the Vote event.
Right.
And, she seemed to have respect for a friend of mine named Catherine Engelbrecht of True the Vote and the election integrity work that we were doing. But I haven't really seen a whole lot out of Pam Bondi right now. But I do think it's important that whoever is running our DOJ has a good working relationship with Kash Patel and Dan Bongino, who I have a lot of respect for. I mean, I was in a documentary called 2,000 Mules with some of the election.
Dinesh D'Souza.
Yeah, with Dinesh D'Souza. Kash Patel wrote a book on it. Like, I know he's been covering a lot of the issues that I hold dear, and he's been involved in that. Same with Dan Bongino.
Yeah.
So I have nothing but respect for those two guys. I don't know enough about Pam Bondi, but I hope that they can all work together for the betterment of our country. And if not, I hope we see some changes.
And like I said, the only person of the three of them, the only one I know personally and who I've known for years and who I've met and talked with and had on my show was Dan Bongino.
Yep.
And there's nothing anybody could ever tell me that would lead me to believe he's not full of top to bottom integrity.
Yeah.
Plus, knowing his past history, like I said, working for Obama in the Secret Service and putting your life on the line for somebody who holds every value of yours in contempt. I mean, that's a stand-up guy for sure. We'll see how it plays out. Heather Mullins are now, all right, in 2028, are you going to be flying around looking for politicians you can take photos of when they fall asleep on airplanes?
No, I'm going to be holding them all accountable in the media and bringing people on. So
that's probably a better way to do it. Talkmullins.com. Tell us the name again of it's America's.
So it's AmericaFirstNews.com, and you can follow me on all social media at Talk Mullins. I do have a YouTube channel. I'm going to be start doing a little more private, reporting and some updates and stuff there. So if you guys want to go follow on YouTube, it's a new platform for me because they didn't really like election integrity, so I ended up not using them for a while, but I am going to start branching out back onto the YouTube platform.
No, YouTube has been, you know what? I think that when President Donald Trump came back to office, social media did a reset, and they realized, you know what, we're not, and I think a lot of it, I mean, a lot of them are liberals, but a lot of them felt threatened
by,
they
did.
Yeah, they
were
and we saw the Twitter files when they came out.
100%.
I mean, it was, you had to do this or else we were going to come out after you. And they were it was a business decision. Yep. But anyway, we're back on YouTube. We're on Rumble. Heather, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. No, I appreciate you reaching out. And we'll have to stay in touch and collaborate going forward.
Absolutely. I'm going to check out America First News. I'm going to get my email in there, I promise. And that launches when?
So we're launching the website in a few weeks, along with a newsletter and some weekly news updates. The big launch, we're aiming for September.
Perfect.
So stay tuned for that.
Awesome. Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you.
That was so great. All right, listen, we've been going now for like an hour and a half. I didn't even realize it. I didn't even realize it's almost 4 o'clock. It's just been so fun. There's just speaker after speaker and guest after guest and all the, you know what else is interesting? So a lot of people, here, let me show you. I'll do this because this is kind of fun. I had an idea for the next one, actually, which I thought was kind of cool. But look at this. So you get all of these. When you sit here, hold on. Look, we got a Jewish yo-yo, by the way. This is something. Here's something I probably should have done that I'll do next time. I'm going to go into, so there's a big, I'm trying to get all these notes. All right, so here's what happens, basically, right? You have all these people here, and as I sit here every single day, and I do my show, and I'm in front of the lights, right, and I have microphones, people walk by, and there are people walking by right now. Hi, how's it going? And so what, you want to take a picture? You have people live? Hold on. Well, this is what I'm talking about. All right, they're watching who, me or you?
Me.
Oh,
They
who
can
are
watch
you?
too. I'm
All right,
Tyler.
hold on. Have a seat here. What's your name?
Tyler Fiorito. I'm with the Michigan Review.
You're with the Michigan Review.
Yes, we're like a subsection of the National Review. We have people, our alumnuses have wrote for like all the conservative publications.
How many people are watching you?
Right now, 70. We peaked at 90 live.
Okay, perfect. All right. Well, we
Am I
have
bigger than you?
we have like 1,594.
Okay, never mind then.
Oh, perfect.
I am small pickings.
No, you're doing great. So, all right. So, what can I do? All right. So, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do like an open mic night. All right, because like I said, I've got all these people that come by. We'll give you like I don't know. I have a time. We'll give you like 60 seconds. We'll give you like 60 seconds. We'll give you 30 seconds. My timer's 30 seconds.
Do I have a topic?
Oh, I don't know. What are you doing? You're just
Anything.
wandering around live streaming?
I'm interviewing people. For me personally, I'm
oh,
like,
you want to interview me?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Never mind that.
I want to know who you
Then
are.
You get way more than 30
Well,
seconds.
actually, I'll tell you who
all
I
right,
am,
perfect.
and then
Here
I'll
we
tell
go.
yeah.
On your mark, get set, go.
I'm Tyler. I'm with the Michigan Review. I was served in 4 times in student government at the University of Michigan. I was the guy to break the story about the pro-Palestine protests, where we literally had the first ever impeachment of a president and VP. We broke that. It got cited by New York Times, Chronicle of Higher Education, Detroit News, Free Press, and it was literally the first time in the 207-year history of the University of Michigan that student government leaders got removed, and it was for dereliction of duty after they refused to do their job and wanted to shut down the government, so they got kicked out. That's what I'm most known for.
That was amazing.
Thanks.
I'm
I'm just swinging at the hip.
You still had like 5 more seconds too. Wow, that's great. Congratulations.
I like saving. I like investing. I'm going to invest that time later.
I like, money amortized over time is the best investment. That's fantastic. So you're at the University of Michigan, and you blew the lid off of the pro-Palestinian protest there.
Yes, I did. I wouldn't say blew the lid, but I was behind the scenes the whole time because I was in student government before even October 7th happened.
Yeah.
And I saw the rise of this, and I don't even blame them most of all for the rise. I blame the neoliberals that came before them for them existing, because their incompetence and refusal to recognize reality, on top of some alleged corruption, let's just say, is reason why Shut It Down happened, which is the name of their party.
So all right. So are you still at the University of Michigan?
I'm back for grad school now. Yes.
You're back for what are you studying?
I studied an undergrad econ, but now I'm doing sports management. Love me some sports.
Oh, fantastic! Go Wolverines.
My man, that he said the right thing.
Was that? Yeah. Well, I mean, again, I know. Or wait, is it Ohio State who you hate?
We don't say that word.
That's what it is.
We don't say
right.
that.
Right, because my friends who like Ohio State,
we don't do hate speech on this broadcast.
They don't call it Michigan. They call it Ishigan, which I'm sure you've heard too. Well, this is fantastic. All right. So, what's your question for me?
I guess for one, who are you?
Oh,
that's a great question.
Okay, we're done. Get out of here. No, I mean, I'm Mark Kaye, and you're on Mark Kaye Saves the Republic, which is my podcast. I'm based out of Jacksonville, Florida. I've been a syndicated radio host, TV host, and now I'm running for Congress in Florida's 5th District.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
You didn't know any of that. You just wandered up and sat down.
I'm from Michigan.
Here's what I like about you.
I live in the woods.
You live in the right. This is great. You live in the woods, so this is like more people than you've ever seen, right?
Yeah. No, I only knew 15 people before this convention.
So, and they're all watching you live.
I think 10 of them are.
Okay.
I have some bad family members.
This is what I like about you. You wandered up. You had no idea who I was, but you just sat down and started talking. I think that's going to be so. Sports was it sports journalism?
Sports management.
Sports management.
I kind of do journalism anyways. I don't have a journalism degree. I just kind of walked into it, just started writing.
No, sports management is where that's become an agent, get some of that money.
I worked for the Pistons and the Red Wings for the last 2 years.
I was going to ask you, what's your favorite sports team?
God, that is tough. So like for me, I have ADHD, so it's great when I follow.
No kidding.
8 different sports. I kind of have to.
Yeah.
I would say it's got to go Tigers. I mean, look at the hat. We got the hat.
The Tigers.
We got the Riley Green hat, All-Star Riley Green.
Yeah.
Tigers, Major League leading 6 All-Stars.
Wow.
And they're still probably going to lose in the playoffs. But whatever.
How does somebody with ADHD watch a baseball game?
Stats.
Oh, I guess.
There's too many stats.
That makes
which is great for
sense.
me.
That makes perfect sense. All right, well, listen, this was so great meeting you. Tyler.
Yes.
Yeah, thanks so much for coming by.
Yes, I'm Italian. My last name is very hard to spell, so you'll find me if you look me up.
Fiorito.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, tell everyone where to find you so they can go watch you.
Yeah, if you look up Tyler Fiorito or the Michigan Review, I'm on Instagram, I'm on YouTube, I'm on Twitch. What else am I on? I got to start getting on Rumble. I saw you're on Rumble. I got to do that.
Yeah, go down there at the Rumble guys. They'll give you a hat.
Wait, really?
Yeah, it looks like, look, they gave my daughter one.
I'm going to get a Rumble hat.
Tell them, say, hey, Mark Kaye sent me down here for a hat.
I will tell them that.
All right, Tyler, nice meeting you, man. Good luck.
I'll tell them to vote for you, too, if that's not illegal.
No, that's totally
Actually,
fine.
it might be unethical journalism on my part.
Voting for me is totally legal. I don't want to spread any of that rumors. Hey, thanks for coming, man.
Of course, man.
That was great. Nice to meet you.
Of course, I'm going to plug you in my description.
Yeah, please do. Please do. This is great. That was the first ever Mark Kaye show open mic. And I have to tell you, I think it went amazingly. I think when here's the thing, but Tyler also, he set the bar really high. Gary, you want to sit down? Okay, Gary's going to be our second ever open mic night. Open now, Gary.
Is this a video interview or an audio interview?
It's video and audio.
All right, awesome.
Yeah, we're live now. Are you ready?
Pretty nice.
All right, let's see. Let's see. Hey, what's up, Ant? How are you? You gonna be like everyone's here? You gonna be around for a bit? Can you circle back? Awesome, man. Good to see you. Conservative Ant is here from TikTok. I told you. And here's what happens: the later it gets in the day, the more and more people start showing up. Let me pull it up here. So,
Mark, it looks like your energy is still completely up. It doesn't seem like it's late in the day if people just turn on the TV.
Well,
and
Gary,
take a look. Your energy is immense right now. I like it.
My energy is always immense. You're right. No, you know what? I feed off the energy of people like you.
Thank you. Now, this guy's a charmer, right? If there's ever a charmer, it's Mark Kaye. And you're running. Did I pronounce it right?
I like how you turned and looked to make sure. It's Mark.
Well, I just wanted to make sure I got the pronunciation right. It's Kaye, right?
It's
Mark
Kaye. That's exactly right. And it's Gary Barv.
That is correct.
Is that right? Gary Barv. Now,
you pronounced it perfectly, my friend.
All right, Gary, where are you from?
Well, let me quickly introduce myself to your great viewers and listeners, Mark. My name is Gary Barv. Right. I am a youth supporter of our President Donald J. Trump, a proud Republican of the Republican Party that belongs to our President Donald J. Trump.
Yeah.
And I'm officially running for President of the United States of America in the 2028 election to help President Trump make America great again, keep America great, and to help him save America. And I'm running because I love President Trump. I love our country, the greatest country in the world, the United States of America, and I love our great American people, and I want to help President Trump make America great again, keep America great, and save America. I just want to say this real quick, my friend. I respect all religions, but I'm Christian. I believe in Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior. I believe the Bible is the Word of God, and I genuinely believe that Jesus Christ is with President Trump. Jesus Christ is with our country, the greatest country in the world, the United States of America. And Jesus Christ is with you, our great American people. And I'll say it, Mark, Jesus Christ is with me. We're going to make America great again, keep America great, and save America. Happy to answer any questions that you have, my friend. And by the way, I know you're running U.S. Congress District 5. Is that right?
That's correct. Florida District 5.
I just heard about it, and I understand you're a patriotic guy. Seems like you have that U.S. flag in the backdrop.
That's the dead giveaway.
Love the U.S. flag.
I do.
I really love the U.S. flag.
I hope
man.
you do. You're running for president. I hope you love the U.S. flag. All right, Gary, I have some questions. Do you have a minute?
I have more than a few minutes.
Okay.
I'll hang out with you for a long time, my friend.
All right, Gary, first of all, you said that you're a youth for President Donald Trump.
I said I'm a huge supporter of President Donald J. Trump. I would like to think I'm young.
How old are you? How old are you?
How old do you think I am, Mark?
Well, I don't know, but you said, so here's, in the context clues, you said you're running for president in 2028, so I know you have to be at least 35.
Correct.
But then you said, what I thought was you're a youth supporter. So
I would like to think I'm a young guy. I'm 40 years old. I was born in 1984 in Summit, New Jersey.
You're 40 years old. You're from New Jersey.
40 years old, yes, sir.
You're running for president.
Correct.
Now, don't take this the wrong way.
I wouldn't.
Were you born in this country?
Correct. I was born in Summit, New Jersey.
You have a very strong accent that is not quite the New Jersey accent. And I lived in New Jersey, so I know the Jersey accent.
Well, I'll tell you what, you don't have to live in New Jersey to know that I do not have a New Jersey accent, my friend. Let me say this. Look, I was born in Summit, New Jersey in 1984, but, like you said correctly, Mark, I have an accent. And, a lot of people have done a lot of media shows, probably about 25, 30 media shows with, tremendous regional shows like your awesome show today, and also with a lot of national networks like Newsmax, RSP, and a lot of shows. People ask me this question a lot, and here's how I answer it. So I say, I was born in Summit, New Jersey in 1984, so I'm 40 years old.
Right.
But, unfortunately, I did not have the great honor of growing up in our great United States of America. My family relocated to India when I was about 4.5 years old.
Got it.
And at 4.5 years old, Mark, you don't really have much of a say in these decisions, right? But, I say this, I would have loved to grow up in our country, the greatest country in the world, the United States of America. But, I came back right after my undergrad. I was in Massachusetts, got my master's in business administration from Dallas, Texas, SMU, Southern Methodist University. Relocated to California. Went through some personal challenges after that. But conquered them with the grace of Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior.
Great,
my parents and a lot of people, I went through some former clinical depression-related illness. I've made a complete recovery now.
Fantastic.
Ran for city
you
council.
Don't seem depressed at all.
I think it's your energy that's rubbing off on me a little bit. Right? It's a mutual admiration society right now, right? But let me say this. I ran for city council 2020 election, Republican supporter of President Trump.
Okay.
Wore a red Make Santa Clara Great hat during the campaign. Had a tremendous result, Mark. Got 23% of the vote in a 3-person race, and there were only, to my memory, about 17% Republicans in the district that I was running in.
Yeah.
And then I relocated to Lynchburg, Virginia, became a student at Liberty University. It's one of the
that's a
largest
good one.
Christian schools in
Liberty's
America.
a great university.
Yeah.
Okay, so you were
and then ran for U.S. Congress, Republican Trump supporter, now running for president 2028 election.
Did you win your U.S. congressional
Well, the
bid?
primary election was obviously 2024 primary phase
Yeah.
of the election. I ran as the biggest supporter of President Trump in America.
Right.
We hardly invested any money into that campaign.
Yeah.
So
So no, you
considering
didn't
that,
win.
we got a great result. Well, I wouldn't say I didn't win. I would never associate that phrase with me. I will say this.
Okay.
I will say this. I
You
had a
didn't
tremendous
secure
campaign.
the seat, though.
Huh?
You had a great campaign, but you did not secure
I'm
the
currently
seat.
not an elected official, but I'll tell
Got
you
it.
what, I'm the biggest, most loyal supporter of President Trump in America. And I'm going to give you a soundbite, my friend. Let's.
Okay,
all right,
hold on.
let's do
Ready?
this.
Go.
So, look, illegal immigration is, in my opinion, the biggest issue that the United States of America faces, and especially faced during the previous dumb as a rock Kamala and crooked Joe Biden administration, right? And, it's a corrupt Democrat party, Mark. It's a corrupt Democrat party.
Yeah.
And, there are these gangs that have come into our country. I'm sure you've heard about it, Mark. Tren de Aragua. There's a gang named Tren de Aragua. And, the first
You
thing I
say
said
it just like Donald Trump, by the way. Tren
Thank you.
de Aragua.
Well, I love President Trump. I've met President Trump, by the way. But there, like I said, there are these gangs like Tren de Aragua that have come into our country. It's a Venezuelan gang.
Yeah.
And the first thing I said to myself, Mark, when I heard about this gang Tren de Aragua was, what a stupid name for a gang, right? Who names their gang Tren de Aragua? It's a
Train
stupid name.
of Aragua. That's menacing, isn't it?
It's a stupid name. I don't
Okay,
think
all
it's
right.
menacing at all. It's
All
a
right.
stupid name.
You're probably right.
So look, Mark, there were other gangs that came into our country, right, my friend? MS-13.
Yeah. MS-13. That's a stupid name.
Well, I would say they are a vicious gang that literally cut people up just for fun, right?
Right.
And
So I guess the
visited
name doesn't matter when you're that kind of...
No, I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, look, I visited the U.S. southern border very recently in the Rio Rico area of Arizona with some great American law enforcement officials and officers.
Right.
And heard about some other gang names, right? The Sinaloa cartel.
Yeah.
And my direct message right now to
What about the Crips and the Bloods? What do you think? Are those good names for gangs?
I don't know. I'm not really in the business of making gang names, but I am in the business of politically decimating gang members,
Fair
and
enough.
if necessary, more than politically decimating gang
All
members.
right.
But I'll say this. Let me say this, my friend.
Okay.
I want to say this.
All right, then I have some
my
more
direct
questions
message
for you,
right now
Gary.
to MS-13, Tren de Aragua, Sinaloa cartel gang members is get the hell out of our great United States of America. If you don't, we will incarcerate members of your gangs, or we will kick members of your gangs out of our country. So, Mark, I'm ready to take a bullet for you. I'm ready to take a bullet for our American people, because I want to keep our great American people safe and secure. Law and
All right.
order, in my opinion, is
right.
the very fabric, Mark, that keeps our country the greatest country in the world. No, I mean it. Along
No,
with
you're
many
right.
other things such as American exceptionalism,
right.
American patriotism, and the personality that our great American people have. I think you have a really nice personality.
I agree,
And I would
Gary.
say, would you say you're youth?
No, that would be a blatant lie.
How old are you, man?
How old do you think I am?
I am gonna not venture into a guess. I'm gonna.
very
do you
smart
want
of
me to? Well, I'll be conservative with my estimate. I'll say 40.
Oh, I'm not 40. I
You're-
was at one time, though.
But you're older than that, right?
I am older than that,
So I
yeah.
am a politician a little bit
You're
now,
doing
right?
no. You've already got the filibustering down. All right, so let's talk a little bit about.
How old
these-
are you, though?
I'm 50.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, so you were kind of close.
All
All
right.
right, so let me ask you a couple questions because there's some important things that you brought up. And
Let's
let me,
go.
Let me. I tried to write them down. Let me tell me remember. So, all right, so 2028. This is going to be a crowded Republican field. J.D. Vance is the vice president. We don't know if he's going to run, but traditionally the vice president is the...
I call J.D. Vance doofus, by the way, and I support President Trump's decision to select him as the vice president. I have nothing against that. I love President Trump, but I do call the 2028 presidential election potential opponent J.D. Vance a doofus and a docile cheeks beta male. Depending upon how much time you have, I'll elaborate on it, but I'll let you continue, my friend.
All right, let's get... Marco Rubio is also very
He's
popular.
the secretary, yes. He's the secretary.
He's Secretary
yes.
of State,
Yeah,
but he's also
secretary.
been a senator for a long time, and he's really risen through the ranks. And he ran for president once before unsuccessfully, but
Little Marco is a famous phrase. Do you remember that, Mark?
I do.
Very
yeah,
nice. All right.
yeah.
Or continue.
So, what do you think about Marco Rubio? Is he a formidable opponent?
I've not made a lot of comments against. Look, let me say this. I made a lot of comments against a lot of people who will run against me in the Republican primary phase of the election, in my opinion, right? I've said things against Ron DeSanctimonious, right? He's the most disloyal person in America.
Right.
And I can elaborate on that depending upon how much time we have on the interview, my friend.
No, I think
I've
we're
said
doing
things
good. All right,
against opportunistic rhino, weak little Vivek. That's Vivek Ramaswamy, right?
Yeah.
I've said things against Nikki, Birdbrain, Democrat running as a
Wait, you
Republican.
don't like
Haley.
Vivek Ramaswamy?
Well, I don't like any of my potential opponents because I will politically decimate every
Do
potential
you know
opponent
Vivek
that runs against me
Ramaswamy?
because
And
I
that's
want
not
to
a
win this election.
that's not a racist thing because you're both of Indian descent. But do you know Vivek Ramaswamy?
What do you mean by no? I've not met him. I have no intention of meeting him unless it's on the debate stage, and I will politically decimate every potential opponent that runs against me in the
Okay.
Republican primary phase of the election and the general phase of the election. But
Okay.
let me talk about. So, okay, go on.
All right,
Continue.
I got one last question, and then I got to let you go. Epstein files. How do you feel, as the largest supporter of President Donald Trump in America, this whole thing was handled, and what do you think is going to be the end result?
Well, I am not going to predict what the end result is going to be, but I'll say this. Look, President Trump has, whatever's happened in the last few days, I don't want to make a very specific comment on this at all at this time, but I do want to say this. Look, President Trump is putting America first. He's the America first candidate. He's the greatest leader our country has ever had. Our country is on a tremendous positive spiral, like you wouldn't even believe it, Mark. You know, you look at what was happening like 5 months back, 6 months back. I'm talking about the dumb as a rock Kamala and crooked Joe Biden administration. 20 million illegal immigrants came into our country. Inflation was so high. You had the price of oil and gas so expensive. We were importing oil from countries such as Venezuela. People were having trouble putting food on the table for their friends and families. Police, sheriffs, ICE. No, let me continue.
But the question was about the Epstein files.
I will answer your question, but I have to give you context.
Okay.
Context before
you have to give me context about the gas prices? All right.
Well, let me say this. You want the answer to the question, right?
I want the answer to the question.
Well, you gotta let me complete my thought, my friend.
Okay.
So let me say this. Police, under dumb as a rock, Kamala, crooked Joe Biden, police, sheriffs, ICE, military, veterans, firefighters, first responders were being tremendously disrespected because of the negative rhetoric of the Democrat Party, the corrupt Democrat Party. So President Trump is the greatest leader ever. Now, about the Epstein files, I will support President Trump's decision. I believe President Trump will make the right decisions. Let me say this. I am a candidate for President of the United States of America as a Republican supporter of President Trump. I'm not currently the President of the United States of America, which means I'm not privy to all the information that a president would have, the power of the seat would have. So I will say this. Look, President Trump, maybe it's a national security issue, maybe it's some other issue. I will say this. President Trump is making the right decision for our country. And right now, I'm asking America to support President Trump like you've never supported him before. He's the greatest president ever. Thank you very much.
I'm going to give you, this was great, by the way. I appreciate it.
By the way, is this live? Is this live?
Yes, it's live.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome, Mark. Okay. Listen, here's what I'm going to do. Ready? This was a very long open. I'm going to give you 30 seconds to make your pitch to America, but when you hear the bell, that's it. You ready?
Right.
All right,
let's
go.
Here
we go. On your mark, get set, go.
All right, the first thing I'll say is I'm the biggest, most loyal supporter of President Donald J. Trump in America. I love President Trump. I love our country, the greatest country in the world, the United States of America. I love our great American people, and I'll say this. I'm ready to take a bullet for you, like I said during the previous part of the interview. I'm ready to take a bullet for our American people, and I will say this. I respect all religions, but I'm Christian. I believe in Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior. I believe the Bible is the Word of God, and I genuinely believe that Jesus Christ is with President Trump. Jesus Christ is with our country, the greatest country in the world, the United States of America. Jesus Christ is with you. Jesus Christ is with me. We're going to save America. Thank you very much, and have a great evening, ladies.
Give it up, Gary. Very nicely done. Bravo, man. Very nice. Good. Give it up for Gary, everybody. Yay! He's running for president in 2028. That's fantastic. You know what this reminds me of? Kill Tony. It's like we're mixing Kill Tony and politics. We're bringing on everybody for like 30 seconds or 60 seconds to see what they can do. I turned your microphone off. I told you 30 seconds that you're done. You did a great job, Gary. What'd you do?
I said I was going to say a nice thing about it.
Oh, I appreciate that. You can text me. Listen, this is fantastic. This is exactly why, like I said, this event is one of the most incredible events, because you have people like Gary who come out here with a dream and a lot of words, and they try to make it a reality. But it's kind of fun. It's really exciting. Not only that, and like I said, this has been going on all week. We have here, I mean, we could do this for hours. We've got Andre Barnes, who swung by. He's an immigration expert. And apparently he has a photocopier, because he gave me this lovely black and white photocopy thing. Here's his card. We've got, look, this is Kristen Sokolov. She appears to be an influencer. She's a political influencer, speaker, and power connector. I don't know what a power connector is. I thought that's where you put it in your cell phone when it needs to be charged, but that's her. We've got The Forgotten Realm, Civics for American Christians, Marty Mox. I'm telling you, it's over and over again. It's every single day. Oh, this is let me show you this. Where's my gold thing? Did someone steal my gold? This is our. We've got some great. Look at this. These are our neighbors. This is Watchman Action, and look at this. They have. This is the Florida Gold Back, and apparently it's like currency or whatever, but it's made of gold. This is actual gold, right? Yeah. This is. Are you Geraldo? Who wants to talk? Hey, I guess I started talking about them, so I should probably let them talk. They're sitting right next to me for the whole weekend. Who's, hey, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Nice to meet you.
Geraldo, right?
Geraldo.
All right, come on over close to the microphone. All right, so look, this is what you get here. You walk by. This is worth $4 apparently, right?
Correct. Yes, it's
What am I actually holding here?
So you're holding 1 2,000th ounce of pure 24 karat gold.
1 2,000th of an ounce of pure. How much?
Pure 24 karat gold.
24 karat gold. And what do I do with this?
So there's a little QR code on the back. I'll tell you exactly which merchants in the state of Florida accept gold. That is, gold backs are accepted in 6 states right now as voluntary currency.
Yeah.
Oklahoma is the next state to start accepting them. And gold backs is trying to get into all 50 states because it's just another currency. It's bringing the gold back to the people, the power back to the people the way it should be.
The
getting
gold
away from
standard.
the federal government, getting away from the Federal Reserve System.
This is amazing. So, how many states accept them, you said?
It's accepted in 6 states right now.
Okay, so they're basically giving away gold. Like you're walking by the table, and at first it kind of looks like a trading card or some kind of elaborate Pokemon, that you could grab. But what it is it's actual gold. And I grabbed it. They're like, you're holding $4 in your hands, and they've given away how many hundreds of dollars worth of gold have you given away?
Oh, we've been giving a lot of the gold backs out this weekend.
You've been giving, yeah,
yes.
That's fantastic. So this is exactly. Well, thanks so much. How's your booth going, by the way? You having a good time over there?
Yes, we are.
Yeah,
Thank you for that.
We got a pretty good stand over here. No, this is great. And then over here to my left, they're giving away Bibles. Nice seeing you, by the way. They're giving away Bibles, and I was talking to them earlier, and I said, "Why are you giving away Bibles?" They said, "Just cause, if somebody doesn't have a Bible, they can get a Bible." I said, "Are you broadcasting? Are you live streaming?" They go, "No." And sure enough, all weekend long, people walk by, they go, "Hey, sir, have a Bible. Hi, ma'am, would you like a Bible?" How many Bibles have you guys given out? Do you know? Hundreds of Bibles. And it's really just kind of wild. So this is what we've been doing. I got a handwritten note here from somebody. This says, "Hi, Mark, Tia Bess out of Jacksonville, Florida. Elizabeth Anderson, Donna Deegan, City Council vote available for interviews." So you know what I'm going to do? This is going to be my next thing. We're going to do a Kill Tony style open mic because I thought this was really fun. Also, I'm going to go. We may have to do one more live like later tonight or tomorrow morning. But this is something else I'm going to do. There's a whole hall. Annabelle, come over here. Have a seat. So, maybe this will be like a fun job for you.
Hi, guys.
Hi. Look, do you guys remember Annabelle? What? Annabelle from the Lovely Light podcast.
I'm still in the Rumble hat. It's my favorite hat.
I'm sorry,
it's my second favorite hat.
What did you just say?
It's my second favorite hat, besides the Mark Kaye for Congress hat.
Thank you.
I do really like this hat.
Okay, but if you could only wear one hat for the rest of your life, which hat would you wear?
1 second.
No, you don't have to change hats.
Yes, I do.
Okay, I'm just...
Here we go. Yay!
Yay! Okay, now you can...
This is my favorite hat.
Okay, all right. Well, that can be your favorite hat until August 18th, 2026.
Sounds good.
Then you can put the Rumble hat back on because they're the official sponsor. Also go to the Lovely Light. So we went to what's that hall called? The Pavilion or what's it called?
I don't know.
Okay, all right. There's
the main hall.
The main hall, and in the main hall, they explain to everybody because I haven't really spent a lot of time there. Explain to everybody to everyone what's in the main hall.
Like the merch?
Yeah, the merch.
Yeah,
There's
so in the main hall, they have like a bunch of merch stuff. They have TPS USA Faith. They have Stand Out Now. They have a bunch of Christian brands. They have Students for Life. They just have a bunch of brands giving out stuff. And I got a yo-yo. Give me the yo-yo.
Right. Well, that's what I was going to say.
I was learning how to yo-yo today.
It's an Israeli yo-yo. The Israel people are here,
Yes.
and they were giving out yo-yos and also Israeli flags. But we got a yo-yo. And I realized I never taught my children how to yo-yo because Annabelle has no idea literally no clue.
Wait, do you want me to yo-yo right now?
You can't yo-yo.
Yeah,
Go ahead. I'd like you to yo-yo live on the podcast and see what happens. This is definitely a lost art form. All right, ready?
Look at that! I did it. I did it once. Did you see it?
No. I'm gonna have to go back. But here's what I want you to do. Okay. Here's your next goal. Are you ready?
Yes.
I want you. In fact, maybe do you want to be timed?
Sure.
Okay.
That's fun.
I'm going to give you 10 minutes.
That's
okay?
a lot of... Oh, I thought you were going to give me like seconds. Okay.
Okay, I'll give you
wait,
10 seconds.
I don't know the challenge.
You don't even know the challenge
Wait,
yet.
okay, what's the challenge?
You're negotiating time on a challenge you don't even know. I'm going to give you 10 minutes.
Okay.
I want you to go through the main hall, and I want you to return with as much free junk like this as possible.
Okay.
And then we're going to itemize it.
Sounds good.
Okay, good. This is so much fun. All right, ready? On your mark, set, go. Okay, bye. Perfect. All right, so she's good because, like I said, this is the fun kind of stuff that they have here. Is you've got hold on, where are we? You've got all the guests, you've got all the people walking by, and you've got free merchandise. Also, I'm killing time because I know that conservative ant is coming back. But let's roll back through Twitter for just a minute because, like I said, you have to be really, really diligent. That's the one thing about Donald Trump's second administration is it's constant news, 24/7, 7 days a week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We are here on a Saturday, and it has been non-stop news. And I'm going to pull this back up here. Where are we? Let's go to the X. All right, so there's Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Let's go. We're going to go right back up to the top, and this is going to be live scrolling. This is going to be another segment that I start doing too. FBI director is trending. FBI director Marco Rubio releasing he's about to become. Oh, this is just jokes about Marco Rubio. Breaking. Dan Bongino will not stay at the FBI. Well, we know that. That's old. That's not. Let's go to the latest. I always forget I have to click on latest. Deputy FBI Director Dan Bongino has told people he is considering resigning amid Epstein fallout. We know that, CNN. Where you been? New Trump tariff threats. Breaking. FBI Director Kash Patel will stay if the... Who are these people? FBI... Okay, so doesn't look like there's any new news as of yet. Let's go to Blondie, which is also trending. Laura Loomer. By the way, Laura Loomer, she posted this, Pam Bondi, an action figure. Laura Loomer, you have to give her credit because Laura Loomer really broke the whole Mike Waltz, career into pieces. Mike Waltz, a good friend of ours, by the way, who we've known for years, NSA director. He had some people in his administration who were not necessarily as conservative as some people thought. They were not necessarily supporters of President Donald Trump. In fact, he had people in his administration in Mike Waltz's control that were not at all friendly to Donald Trump until they got the jobs, and Laura Loomer busted the lid off of it. Then, of course, she went to the White House. A lot of people think that she brought with her with the Telegram scandal. Mike Waltz was moved out of the White House, and he's now in the Senate, and they're going to confirm him to be the UN ambassador. But now, if Pam Bondi goes too, I'm going to be honest with you, you have to give the credit to Laura Loomer because she's been after Pam Bondi since day one, and I know that she was one of the first people to break this story. She's maybe I don't know who's going to be the next president, but they could do a lot worse for chief of staff than Laura Loomer because she's going to make sure that they have at least they have like the best people. They have the best people in place. All right, let's see what do we got here. We're going back through to see Alex Stein. What do you got? Joe Rogan. Which we're not going to. All right, so. Luckily, it looks like we have not yet missed anything. Oh, look, Anna Paulina Luna. Oh, this is great. Let's listen to her because she's bad-mouthing Congress, which is one of my favorite things to do.
2026 midterms. How do we get over the trend that the party in the White House loses seats and...
Which we're not going to... All right, so...
Jobs in Washington. And so if you guys can continue to help with that message, that would be great.
I don't know what polls she's looking at, but 97% of the time, the party in power loses power in the midterm elections. And again, I'm looking at individual polls every single day. I'm auditing every single candidate. And I think that there are definitely some districts, especially in New York, where there's potential losses that, again, I'm looking at individual polls every single day. I'm auditing every single candidate. And I think that there are definitely some districts, especially in New York, where there's potential losses that could be devastating to President Donald Trump and President Donald Trump's of Congress. I agree with Representative Luna. Out of conservatives, combative conservatives in the House of Representatives who are doing all of the work, and the rest of the people are just kind of along for the ride. I could name probably, seven. I could name probably seven people who I think who are doing their work every single day. I could name probably seven people who I think are out there busting their butts for the United States of America and making sure that Donald Trump and his agenda are codified forever. And I think that is something that is a problem. And that's, again, one of the reasons why I'm running for Congress. That's another one of the reasons why I'm throwing my hat into the ring, because you need to make sure that the people who are going to Congress are going there for the right reason. And the right reason shouldn't be to be on television all the time, or the right reason shouldn't be because, it's a great way to retire and make a bunch of money from your investments because you're getting insider information. I mean, look, I was talking to one of these. So it's interesting when you run as like a grassroots candidate, you get a lot of people who come out of the woodwork and they're like, I don't like the guy you're running against. I'm going to help you in any way, shape, or form that you can. And we have guys right now. We have a guy who's designing our yard signs and our palm cards, doing it for free. We have guys who are out there. It's interesting when you run as like a grassroots candidate, you get a lot of people who come out of the woodwork. Cards. We're going to need to know what your big items are on your. First is, of course, huge and is something that a lot of people run on, but not a lot of people believe. It's something a lot of people run on, but not a lot of people are, cognizant of, or they don't necessarily keep it every single day of their lives, their political lives. And that is something that needs to be front and center. I also believe that term limits, the more and more I talk about it to people, the more I realize this is something that is not just desired, but mandatory in the House of Representatives and also the Senate, and something that no longer needs to be pushed aside, but needs to be pushed to the forefront. Because, in fact, we were interviewing some people. I interviewed a kid earlier today. He's a TPUSA influencer. I said, what's the biggest issue facing young people today? He goes, there's too many old folks in Congress. And I go, yeah, because they get elected and they stay there forever and nobody's kicking them out because there's no term limits. So that is truly one of the top issues as well. America first always, term limit amendment. And then, of course, I think we got to get rid of the congressional stock trading. And anybody in Congress who says we shouldn't get rid of congressional stock trading clearly is the reason why we should get rid of congressional stock trading. And AJ, am I right or am I right?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, I got you.
Sorry, my other interview ran over, so
that's okay.
I tried to rush over here as soon as I could.
That's how it goes, man. So, well, that's good that you're. By the way, AJ Penta is here. Hi.
Hey, everybody. How y'all doing?
Am I saying that right?
Yeah, you're correct.
Oh, okay, good, perfect. And he's a country music star. How many Grammys do you have?
No, I don't have any. I got one consideration. That's
cool. That's more than most people.
Yeah, so I'll take that.
And you have a brand new song out, right?
Yeah, so we just did an EP. It's called God and Guns. So it's a Christian / Second Amendment themed
Those
EP.
are two of my favorite things.
Exactly.
Yeah,
mine too. So the irony of the song that got the Grammy consideration was that's really what got me involved with Turning Point, got me involved with the conservative movement.
Yeah.
I was living in New York City. I'm from that area.
I was going to ask you this, so let's start there. So you're a country music singer. You have an album called God and Guns. You're from New Jersey.
Yep, correct. I was the only country singer in New Jersey. Country music, and I just grew up listening to it, and I obviously like a lot of the rock stuff, and started doing country music, and I've been doing it for a long time. And then when COVID happened, I was living in New York.
Right.
And they started shutting everything down, and I didn't like that.
Yeah.
And I'm never one to bite my lip and just stand by and let things happen. So I said to myself, I got to do something about this.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way I could just stand here and let this happen. Mandatory, they're shutting down businesses. Stick this in your arm. You know, I'm kind of saying I'll tell them where they can stick it.
Yeah.
And I knew I had to fight back, just in my soul. And the fact that I had a musical following, I said, this is what I'm going to do. And prior to that, I did have some Christian songs.
Yeah.
But I was never really like a conservative artist. Right. I mean, in my heart I was, but never publicly. So I did a song called Living Free.
Yep.
Ironically, that's the one that made the Grammy ballot.
Isn't that fantastic?
So,
did you ever think that the Grammys would give you a consideration for a song called Living Free?
No, and that was kind of the joke.
Yeah.
Was either there are far more people on our page in the entertainment industry than we realize,
right?
And they just keep their mouths shut because of the level of sabotage they might endure because of it.
Sure.
Or they really are as dumb as we make fun of, and they didn't realize what the song was about.
Yeah, I mean, and it could be either one of those.
Yeah.
Now, if people want to, you can Google the song. I'm going to show a little bit of the video, but I don't want to play it because they're going to take me down, I'm sure, for copyright infringement, which happens even when I play my own music, which is kind of weird. But there you are, and you've got the flag, which should have been a dead giveaway. right off the bat. But this song is kind of, I mean, it's great to have a Grammy considered song. I mean, that is a huge accomplishment, especially for somebody who's conservative and involved with something like TPUSA, I would have to imagine.
Yeah, and that's what got me involved with Turning Point was, I just kind of started speaking up. I said I didn't like what was going on, and that was my way of throwing punches.
Yeah.
So,
are you still in New York? Where you live now?
I live in Nashville now.
That's probably the best place to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what, singing in the bars, or what are you doing?
Yeah, I play clubs, I play shows, I'm on the road, touring, playing festivals, and just all of the above, and just doing that full time right now. So
that's awesome.
I'm grateful, and I thank God that I'm able to do that.
Are you performing here?
No, not this year. They're not having any musical performances at SAS.
Yeah.
I have performed at SAS. There's a few other of us that are here that are musicians.
Wait,
also.
Can you sing here? I have a guitar. Can you sing here?
And then,
wait, where's my guitar? Oh, Annabelle, grab the guitar. Can you play? I don't want to put you on the spot if you don't want to do it.
We could, if you want. I actually do have my guitar in my hotel. We could set up another time. I'll come back and
okay, all right,
play.
yeah, that's true. You want to use your own guitar.
Yeah,
I like that. All right, perfect. Well, that's fine. Well, listen, what are you doing for the rest of the evening? Are you just going around as a guest and you're doing interviews? Do you have like a meet and greet or something?
Yeah. Just kind of meeting up with a lot of the Turning Point, like youths, like the college kids and stuff like that wanted to meet. I'll usually run around, say what's up to them, take some pictures, and just kind of hanging out. And I'm really fortunate and excited to see so many of the speakers that have been here. Always, I always enjoy it, and I always love hanging out with all the friends I've made here.
How many of these events have you been to now?
Oh, a bunch, because I became involved with Turning Point in 2021, so I've been coming to a couple a year, and then some other things that they'll do here and there since then. So a few.
I mean, it really is amazing, and like I said, every year it grows and grows and grows, and it's gonna. I think next year is going to be again one of the most important because of the elections and because of the midterms and because we're going to be fighting for that. So that's amazing. If people want to get in touch with you or they want to hear the song, where do you like them to go? Do you have a website or?
Yeah. So guys, if you just Google AJ Penta, the last name's Penta, like the Pentagon building.
Right.
Everything will pop up. East Coast Cowboy on Instagram.
East Coast Cowboy.
Yeah, just one word, just like that.
Yeah.
And if you just go on Spotify or anything like that, Apple Music, Amazon, AJ Penta, everything's going to pop up.
These are some great photos. Who took these great photos of you in the leather jacket?
All different people.
Oh, look at that. Oh, you have the backwards cap on, too. That's great. These are awesome. AJ Penta, go visit him. He's the East Coast Cowboy on Instagram. AJ, man, thanks so much for coming by.
Hey, thank you. Yeah, sorry for running late. I was in another interview. I tried to run over here.
That's all right. I had a woman who showed up 4 hours late, so you're totally fine. You're totally fine. Listen, it was awesome, man.
Hey, thank you so much. And real quick, you're running for Congress, right?
I am. I'm running for Congress in District 5 in Florida.
In Florida. Excellent. Yeah. Well, good luck with that. I'm happy to see you doing that, and I'm happy that you're here speaking the good word.
If I win, I'll have you come and perform at my victory party.
Hey, I'm down. Consider it a deal.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome. Great.
All right.
You guys come. Nice meeting you, AJ.
Likewise. Thank you so much for
enjoy
having
the
me.
rest of the time. Yeah, we'll see you at the next one, too.
Right.
And I'm telling there were musical performances, and I know that I think at AmFest they have musical performances because music is such a big part of the environment here for the youth movement and everything else. And so if we get to go to AmFest, if we go in December, that's something else that we can definitely take a look into, and that's something else that we can do. That's a whole other aspect of the show, and we'll let AJ know ahead of time. Hey, bring your guitar because I know what it's like. I don't like to talk without my favorite microphone. I don't like to play anyone else's instruments. I don't even like people driving my car. So I get how that goes. All right, Annabelle has returned. Annabelle.
Hi.
Are you back from your mission?
I am back.
Look at that. All right, here we
I
go.
got some stickers and some pins mostly.
All right. Well, we sent Annabelle.
Not everything's free.
We sent Annabelle. That is true. Well, this is not communism. We sent Annabelle on a mission. Her mission was to go into the merch area and to grab as much free swag as she possibly could. Now, we already got the Israel. This is the IFCJ.org. It's the Israel Christian Jewish. What is it? The International Federation of Christians and Jews or something. They were giving out these yo-yos. We got one. What else were you able to get?
So I went to the TPUSA Faith and I got some stickers. Look, this one says, "In Christ we trust."
Okay. Oh, that's a good one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Pray for those who persecute you.
Preach.
And then I got some pro-life ones or this is not pro-life, but I know I'm a woman and I'm not a biologist, but wait, I can't read it. Okay. I'm not a biologist, but I know I'm a woman.
Right, that's a good one. Yeah, that's exactly what that says.
It's not political, it's biblical.
Oh, I like that one.
Put that everywhere.
For sure. Yeah, it's not political, it's biblical. That's good.
This is a pro-life one. Buns in the oven, let me cook. Another faith one, be the church.
Look at you.
Marriage is God's idea.
Okay.
And then this one describes me. It's cute, smart, and conservative.
Oh, wait. That also describes... Did you get me one? Because that also describes me.
No, I didn't.
This literally says, by the way... Oh, I want to hold this one up.
Oh.
This literally says, buns in the oven, let me cook. And it's got a picture of a baby in the womb. That is great. That could be my favorite one right there. Buns in the oven, let me cook.
And I got the sticker and the pin, and it says "Hot Girls Chase Ballots."
That's a really good one. So wait a minute, is it just stickers and buttons? There were no other.
I got a pen.
What's the pen?
It's the Turning Point Academy.
Okay, that's good. How does it write?
I think you had. I don't know. You had to be part of the academy, but I just took stuff.
Well, no, that's fine. You did a good job.
And I signed up for something. I don't know what I signed up for. I thought it was just a survey, and then it's like, what job would you like? And I go, oh, so I guess I have a job now.
Oh, congratulations. Welcome to Turning Point USA. That's fantastic. All right, listen, we're going to wrap. We've been going for so long. I don't even remember. We've been like 2.5 hours. We're going to wrap it up. There's going to be some more speakers. We're going to go catch. I know. Who is it you want to go see?
I want to see Brett Cooper.
Brett Cooper's coming, of course. She's a big star. And a bunch of other people are going to be speaking tonight. We will. We have a couple more interviews. I don't know if we'll go live today. Maybe tomorrow morning. We'll try to figure it out. But this thing wraps up tomorrow. Oh, yes. Pimp your podcast one more time.
Lovely Light Podcast. Me and my friend Catherine started it. It's a Christian podcast specifically for tween and teen girls. So if you have anyone that fits that demographic, for sure check it out. We do a 30-day devotional series where we read scripture and then we discuss how it relates to our lives. So be sure to check it out on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And then we also have an Instagram and TikTok under just the Lovely Light Podcast.
The Lovely Light Podcast. It looks like.
Guys.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. Go if you want to hear Annabelle and her friend do their 30-day devotional. The Lovely Light Podcast is where you can go. Everyone else, listen, don't make sure you subscribe. Whatever channel you're watching us on right now, make sure you're subscribed to the show. Make sure you're watching the podcast. Make sure you set the notifications so that whenever we go live, which we don't know when it's going to be again, you'll be able to, get those notifications and watch us go live. From TPUSA, SAS in Tampa, keep watching, keep staying with us, keep consuming this content, keep spreading the word, keep listening and learning. We're going to keep entertaining you and informing you and